for the best 15 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And I can't help but overhear you talking about the possibility of tornadoes later today.
Yes, tornado risk, flooding risk. We've got a busy plate on our hands for today. Yeah. So I want to head straight to that because I want to let everyone know what's going to be going on for today. So first off, we have a flood watch in effect for most locations north and I would say mainly north of Route 20 for potential for storms producing between 1 to as high as 4 or 5 inches of rainfall within the span of 24 hours as the remnants of Beryl move over our area. But on top of that, there is an elevated risk for tornadoes. This is a risk zone we haven't seen too often in our area. There's a lot of shear in the atmosphere, a lot of changing wind with altitude. And on top of that, we've got extremely high humidity and very high temperatures. All those ingredients are primed for storms to have a lot of fuel to work with. So we're going to keep a close eye on the radar as we head into today. Temperature 72 degrees already at Griffiths and Rome, and the radar starting to look a little busy. We have the leading edge of this front starting to move north, and our eyes are focused primarily on this zone right here and where it sets up, because again, if these storms move over the same area for a longer period of time, we're talking about rainfall totals exceeding 2 or 3, maybe 4 inches of rain in just a short span. So make sure you're, again, you're weather aware. We're going to track this throughout the morning, throughout the afternoon, and all throughout the evening. We'll provide updates as well on our Storm Tracker 2 weather app that you can download right there in the bottom of your screen if we have any new details. So again, we'll talk about this in more detail in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 5:13. We're getting you set as you head out the door this morning on the Munson CommuteCast. And first off, a live look along the arterial here in downtown Utica. Of course, quiet conditions initially, but some more rain showers have rolled through. Matter of fact, let's take a closer look along the arterial. And as you can see here, roads a little bit on the wet side. And so far, the rain has not been too heavy. But again, that's what we're tracking later on today, is potential for heavier rain that could cause some ponding on roadways, flooding concerns in poor drainage areas. But on top of that, potential for some strong storms. Now, you can see here along our traffic tracker map, quiet conditions, no accidents to report of so far today. And again, mainly quiet start, a few isolated showers this morning and early this afternoon, but weather gets a little bit more active as we head into this evening. We're talking about potential for, again, ponding on roadways, some stronger storms rolling through. We're going to keep a close eye on the radar all day today. On top of that, you can download the Storm Tracker weather app right there. You can scan it with your phone. It will send you alerts of warnings of anything concerning, so make sure you're weather aware on a day like today. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We all know the importance of sunscreen, especially on a hot summer day, but one congressman says the government needs to catch up with what other countries are doing to keep your skin safe. Here's reporter Linda Baccaro.
The sun's rays are a welcome sight for sunbathers and pool goers, but they can also be harmful. Parents know the importance of sunscreen.
I reapply her like every 2 hours. For me, I use at least SPF 30, but I think hers is 50, and we use mineral for her too.
In front of the Fairlawn Memorial Pool, New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer says the government could be doing more to protect your skin.
The sunscreen on the shelves here at stores across the United States is more limited and less effective against UV exposure than sunscreens available in Europe and Asia. Yep, you heard that right. Europe and Asia is ahead of us on sunscreen.
The FDA classifies sunscreen as a drug, which means it comes under more scrutiny. In Europe and Asia, it's regulated as a cosmetic.
So as a result, compared to cosmetics, the drug approval process takes years and years more and costs life sciences companies millions of more to bring a new sunscreen to market.
Gottheimer is now asking the FDA to speed up the review process, saying the last time a new UV filter was approved in the U.S. was in 1999. In the meantime, check for sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 30 to 50. Look for the words broad spectrum. Make sure it's water resistant. See if they contain zinc or titanium. And remember to reapply every 2 hours. Dr. Ali Hadi is a board-certified dermatologist with Englewood Health Physician Network.
Unfortunately, sunscreen degrades over time, and you need to use it every 2 hours if you're outside.
Is that a hard and fast rule in your family?
No, honestly, the day kind of gets away from us, so it's honestly when we remember.
Research shows that regular daily use of SPF 15 or higher sunscreen can reduce a person's risk of squamous cell carcinoma by about 40% and melanoma by 50%.
And that was Linda
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 5:20 and we are tracking the potential for a strong storm or two heading into today. Matter of fact, our severe weather risk has an elevated to enhanced, a level 3 out of 5 for the locations you can see right there on your screen. And the primary concern being flooding as well as a rotating storm or two heading into this evening. So a heads up for those of you who have any plans today. If you have access to a television, of course you can download the app right there below me. It will send you alerts directly to your phone. Downtown Utica right now, we're seeing clouds, a passing shower, but temperatures already very warm, 72, very humid, dew point 69. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2, a live radar. Those initial showers have shifted to the north. This is from a warm front, so now we're going to start to see warmer temperatures move into our region and a trailing cold front out in the west. Now, these ingredients that we're going to be experiencing today are what is causing this alert day. That we have high humidity, high temperatures, and a lot of wind shear or changing speed or wind speed and direction with altitude, which is something we don't see too often here in central New York. The reason why is we have what's left of Beryl moving into our region. This is bringing in all that humidity, all that heat, and all that rotation in the atmosphere. So the environment is a bit unstable. And there's a lot of fuel for storms to work with as they head into this evening. So again, as we head into roughly 6 p.m., some storms will roll through, producing heavier rainfall. Now, this is one of our models here. You can see some locations seeing 1 inch, maybe 2 inches of rain. But this is another model here that has a bit more detail. And some of these downpours producing anywhere between 1 to 3 inches. I think 5 inches is extreme for Utica, but again, it's possible. I don't think it's that likely, but you never know with some of these storms and with the amount of humidity that's in the air. And so, straight to our Skycast. So here this morning, a pretty quiet start. We actually could see some sunshine this afternoon with temperatures soaring into the upper 80s to near 90. So now we're in this warm sector from this system, and then 5 p.m., heavier downpours in Lewis County, northern Herkimer County, and downpours starting to arrive from the west. And these could produce some stronger rotating storms this evening. So we're going to keep a close eye on this. We'll be at the radar all day long. If anything does develop, any warnings do develop, we'll be sure to pass it along. So make sure you're weather aware. Again, this is nothing that is extremely concerning, but you do want to make sure that you're aware in days like this so that you have ways to stay informed with weather updates. So again, today, an alert day, highs near 90, a few stronger storms possible in the evening. Things quiet down as we head into Thursday and Friday with highs in the low 80s. Saturday looking pretty dry, 85. A little warmer for Sunday, cutting it close for rain in the afternoon, but the morning looking relatively dry. But regardless of dry weather, we're thinking the humidity will be notable for the run for Boilermaker Sunday. Gary?
Let's hope that stays the same.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:23. Still ahead on Sunrise, we'll introduce you.
July 10th, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And to me, yesterday felt like probably the hottest day of the year. It was just brutal.
Yeah, it was upper 80s, near 90, but that humidity, that's what makes it feel so hot across the region. We're seeing something similar to that today, but the downside is we've got a system moving through, and that could fire up some tornadoes. This is the highest risk we've seen in quite a while for tornadoes. Wow. So let's take a look at what's going to be going on for today. Again, our goal here is to make sure you all are weather aware of these storms that are moving through later on this evening. And with the ingredients in play here, high heat, high humidity, and lots of changing wind in the atmosphere today, these are what storms use as fuel. And this is why our risk zone for rotating storms today is around 10%. On top of that, we also have flood watches in effect for areas mainly north of Route 20 for the potential of storms dropping more than several inches of rainfall within the span of a few hours. So multiple risks today. We'll keep a close eye all throughout the morning, afternoon, evening to make sure you guys are all informed with things going on across the area. 72 officially in Rome, with rain showers tapering off as a warm front shifts to the north. And now we're going to be entering a warm sector before a trailing cold front will arrive this evening, and that, of course, could fire up a few storms. So again, next 12 hours, upper 80s to near 90 once more, high humidity, and again, we're tracking the potential for a strong storm or two this evening. We'll have the latest details on that straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. The Utica City School.
Welcome back, everyone. This Wednesday, we are, of course, starting out with a look at our photo of the day today. And this one is a photo submitted to us from Clinton of blueberry picking. And yes, blueberry season is now here. Raspberry season, of course. Great weather. At least yesterday, although it was a little bit on the hot side to go out and do some berry picking. Today, well, most of the day for a lot of the region is actually pretty dry, but in the evening, we could see some stronger storms roll through. So it's best to hold off on some berry picking potentially until the end of the week. Friday, maybe Saturday, a lot more quiet weather is expected for then. So again, great photo right here. Blueberries look plump and ripe. If you want to submit a full photo like this one, send the link right there on top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. Well, this morning, temperatures starting out pretty mild. Rain showers lifting north as a warm front is now bringing very warm temperatures across our region today. Already 73 in Whitesboro, 71 in Little Falls. And we'll take a look at how warm it gets. Plus, again, additional details on the potential for some strong storms later today in that forecast coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Thanks. As we inch closer to the Boilermaker, now just 4 days.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. We have quite a busy day of weather ahead of us. Let's head straight to it. Again, our primary concerns today will be two main risks. The first one being flooding concerns, as some storms could linger or at least downpours could linger for several hours at a time as the remnants of Hurricane Beryl, which is now post-tropical depression Beryl, move through our region. Our second highest risk will be for tornadoes. Again, we're not talking about widespread tornadoes, but the environment today favors the development of rotating storms. Lots of humidity, lots of warm temperatures, and of course, with wind speed or wind shear in the atmosphere, that is on a high level as well. And so, live look at downtown Utica, a little bit damp as a passing shower has rolled through. 72-degree start to your day, and with this warm front surging to the north, we're now going to see even warmer temperatures, and even on top of that, some sunshine moving in for late this morning, early this afternoon. Almost feel like we're not expecting anything severe weather potential-wise for today, but don't let that fool you, because that trailing cold front will roll through. And again, with all this movement up in the atmosphere, lots of changing winds, directions, and speeds, lots of heat, lots of humidity, this is a recipe for storms to tap into that and produce a strong storm or two. So The bigger picture, here's what's left of Beryl, disorganized rotating system that is still moving through our region, but it can fire up a strong storm or two as it moves through this evening. Now, with rainfall potential, there's still a sharp contrast with who sees the most rain, but we know some spots are going to see a lot of rain. Now, where will it set up? Still a bit of uncertainty. Now, you notice here that those of you that are focused on the forecast right now, it shows 5.1 inches of rain for Utica. Again, this doesn't exactly mean we're going to see 5.1 inches of rain in Utica. It just means that some of these storms could produce rainfall as high as that. This could shift north or south, in some spots seeing the lower end of maybe even less than an inch of rain. So isolated locations seeing that higher amount. And so on our Skycast today, initially a quiet start here at warm front surges to the north. We'll see some sunshine roll through, but with this high heat, high humidity, it might feel like something's quite off in the air today, and that's, of course, is when that cold front will roll through, and these could produce some stronger storms, heavier downpours lasting for more than just a few minutes, and this will push through the region. And then following that, Thursday, severe weather risk is over and done with. We're just talking about clouds and a few spotty rain showers. So for today, to make sure you're weather aware, download the app right there, right below me. It'll send you warning notifications directly to your phone based off a location. Any updates, of course, will be sent right to your phone. And our primary concern here at WKTV is making sure all of you are weather aware on days like today. But following that, we'll see quieting down conditions for Thursday and Friday. Mainly dry weather to start out Saturday, and then, of course, a dry start for Boilermaker Sunday with some spotty rain showers potentially developing by the afternoon. So, of course, we'll continue to track what's going on today throughout the next 24 hours. Gary?
Eric, thanks. President Biden welcomed NATO leaders to Washington on Tuesday.
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And today, definitely an alert day. Boy, you are keeping an eye on things. Starting yesterday, you knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about multiple risk factors today, the primary concern being some stronger storms, secondary concern being flooding issues. So let's head straight to that, too, because we have a risk for tornadoes here in central New York. And I want to talk about that in a lot more detail. So on paper, here is what the Storm Prediction Center put officially for our area. A 10% risk for tornado formation. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that the environment today is favorable for storms to tap into rotating winds in the atmosphere, as well as a lot of thunderstorm fuel with high temperatures and high humidity. So it doesn't mean that we're going to be seeing widespread heavier storms, or at least stronger storms, but there's a good chance that one or two of them could start to show signals of rotating and potentially drop a tornado. So again, this is a higher risk than usual we see here in central New York. We want to make sure you all are weather aware. On top of that, some storms today could produce some heavier rainfall enough to cause potential flooding. So a flood watch is in effect for the counties in green right here on your screen. And to start, today it's actually pretty quiet. A rain shower moved through earlier today at Griffiths and Rome with cloudy skies, but to the south, some sunshine is peeking out. And we're not expecting a washout today, not by any means, at least for most of the area south of the North Country. We're talking about sunshine as this warm front shifts to the north. But don't let that sun fool you, because following that, this evening is when we'll start to see some storms begin to arrive, and these could pack a punch. So, of course, we're going to continue to track these throughout the morning and afternoon. We'll have all the latest updates here on WKTV, as well as on our app and on Facebook Live. We'll be going live at 7:40 today. If you have any questions, you can submit it to that. We'll, of course, talk about this in a lot more detail in that forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Fall in Texas on Monday as a Category 1 hurricane leaving behind a trail of damage and at least 7 fatalities. Beryl hit near the coastal town of Matagorda, Texas, bringing maximum sustained winds of 80 miles per hour. At least 6 people were killed in Texas, 1 in Louisiana. Now, despite Beryl losing force, the front is still threatening to flood areas from Texas all the way up here to the northeast. including us right here in the Mohawk Valley. As you heard Eric mention earlier, he'll have much more on the rainfall totals a bit later. Hunter Biden's attorneys have withdrawn their motion for a new trial in his gun.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning, welcome back. The time now is 6:13 and we're starting out the day relatively quiet. Just a few spots of rain showers coming to an end. But take a look at our Munson Commutecast as you plan out your day. A live look at the traffic camera along the arterial. Mainly quiet conditions right now here in Utica. Zooming in, of course, closely along the roadway. We can see traffic starting to pick up as well. Roads initially damp, now gradually drying out. In a live look at our traffic tracker early this morning, no incidents to report of, no road closures starting to take place early today. And again, the weather today favoring sunshine for the late morning, early afternoon, isolated showers north and west of Utica. But then following that, a trailing cold front rolls through, and there could be some heavier downpours, some embedded stronger wind gusts. And so just a heads up for those of you heading out later on this evening, 6 p.m. onwards, that's when there's a higher risk for ponding on roadways and additional severe weather threats. So, of course, talk about this in a lot more detail coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. We all know the importance of sunscreen, especially on a hot summer day like we've been seeing. But one congressman says the U.S. government needs to catch up with what other countries are doing to keep your skin safe. Here's reporter Linda Beccaro.
The sun's rays are a welcome sight for sunbathers and pool goers, but they can also be harmful. Parents know the importance of sunscreen.
I reapply her like every 2 hours. For me, I use at least SPF 30, but I think hers is 50, and we use mineral for her too.
In front of the Fairlawn Memorial Pool, New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer says the government could be doing more to protect your skin.
The sunscreen on the shelves here at stores across the United States is more limited and less effective against UV exposure than sunscreens available in Europe and Asia. Yep, you heard that right. Europe and Asia is ahead of us on sunscreen.
The FDA classifies sunscreen as a drug, which means it comes under more scrutiny. In Europe and Asia, it's regulated as a cosmetic.
So as a result, compared to cosmetics, the drug approval process takes years and years more and costs life sciences companies millions of more to bring a new sunscreen to market.
Gottheimer is now asking the FDA to speed up the review process, saying the last time a new UV filter was approved in the U.S. was in 1999. In the meantime, check for sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 30 to 50. Look for the words broad spectrum. Make sure it's water resistant. See if they contain zinc or titanium. And remember to reapply every 2 hours. Dr. Ali Hadi is a board-certified dermatologist with Englewood Health Physician Network.
Unfortunately, sunscreen degrades over time, and you need to use it every 2 hours if you're outside.
Is that a hard and fast rule in your family?
No, honestly, the day kind of gets away from us, so it's honestly when we remember.
Research shows that regular daily use of SPF 15 or higher sunscreen can reduce a person's risk of squamous cell carcinoma by about 40% and melanoma by 50%.
And that was Linda Beccaro reporting.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back, everyone. The time now is 6:20, and we're starting out the day with a passing shower, mild, in fact, warm conditions, but things will get more active as we head into this evening. And so, a heads up, what are the main severe weather risks today? Well, to start, the absolute highest risk will be for two concerns, flooding and potential for rotating storms. Notice on the map here, we've got different colors. Now, you notice you go down on the scale, you get higher and higher risks. Enhanced risk is usually the highest risk we see here locally. Moderate to high risk of severe weather is usually reserved for the Midwest, Southeast, other locations that see a lot on a grander scale in terms of severe weather. But we have the concern for some storms producing some heavier rainfall, pounding on roadways, but also, again, the potential for some storms to rotate. But it's only for mainly the evening hours. In fact, a live look at downtown Utica right now, clouds are giving way to some peaks of sunshine. 72-degree start to your day as this warm front lifts to the north. We're now going to start to see peaks of sunshine in areas south of Route 20 and I-90. Those are in the North Country. You might see a bit more in terms of clouds and some scattered showers. But the day itself, at least for the start of it, not looking too busy. But our focus will be on what's left of Hurricane Beryl, the remnants moving through our region. And in meteorology, we look for something like this in a surface map. Warm front, cold front, this little triangle sliver right here is where severe weather can occur. And with today, we've got several ingredients at play here. We've got high temperatures, high humidity, and as well as shear or changing wind speed and direction with altitude. And you can see here some rainfall totals in some spots going as high as 3, potentially 4 inches of rain within the span of a few hours. So that's why we have flooding concerns today, again, primarily in poor drainage areas. But timing it out on our Skycast today, a relatively quiet start. Notice by noontime, this sun will start to peak out. This will cause those temperatures to climb quickly into the upper 80s to low 90s. And with the sunshine, high humidity, and of course that wind shear, prime ingredients for storms to turn severe today. And so here's the backside of this system arriving this evening. Notice again, this is not an all-day event, but once these roll through, these could pack a punch. So we're going to keep a close eye on these storms as they roll through and, of course, provide the latest information throughout the day. And on top of that, download the app right there on the bottom of your screen. Scan it with your phone. This will send you notifications directly to your phone of warnings of any nearby downpours. It's very useful for those of you who are not consistently looking at the TV throughout the day. And so your 7-day forecast. Again, alert date today. We're quieting down by tomorrow and Friday. Severe weather risk is over and done with by Thursday. In fact, nicer weather expected late Friday and into Saturday. Again, dry start for the Boilermaker as of now, but we'll keep you posted with any updates. Gary?
Yeah, a lot to watch this week.
Yes, very busy day today and hopefully a lot quieter heading the rest of the week.
Let's hope, Eric. Thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us.
2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And on this July 10th, if it's your birthday, birthdays are coming up in about 20 minutes. We had a little technical issue earlier, so if you're looking forward to seeing someone's birthday out there, it's coming up in about 20 minutes from now. But the key today, severe weather possibly.
Yes, want to make sure everyone's weather aware because today we have an elevated risk for rotating storms or tornadoes.
Wow.
In fact, we're in the yellow zone right here. 10%. Usually don't see that here in central New York. So I want to break it all down for you all. Again, we're talking about higher risk than usual for some strong storms today. And right here in the zone, obviously, we have the dark green, the brown, the yellow, and you can see the scale on top of your screen. We don't, again, normally see this 10% range here in central New York. So with a lot of ingredients at play here for some stronger storms later this evening, make sure you're weather aware. On top of that, some of these storms today could produce some extended downpours, and of course that means ponding on roadways, flooding in poor drainage areas. So flooded watches are in effect for the counties labeled in green. Around the state, temperatures in the 70s and 60s. A passing shower rolled through the Mohawk Valley earlier this morning, and now things are quieting down, but still some rain showers in areas north of Boonville heading into Lewis County. But the bigger picture is the trailing system from the west, the remnants of Beryl, which will produce the potential for a strong storm or two this evening. But again, today, temperatures in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees, high humidity, and of course, the risk for severe storms later today. We're going to talk a bit more about all those storms in detail coming up in just a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And remember, don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is.
Good morning and welcome back. We're taking a look at our photo of the day today. This one submitted to us from Clinton. showcasing the ripe blueberries currently being harvested across central New York. These are absolutely gorgeous, along with raspberries as well. Berry season is in full force over the next several weeks, so go out and support your local berry farms by picking some of these beautiful berries right here. That's a photo submitted by Ashley. If you'd like to submit a photo like this one, send it to the link right there on top of your screen, wktv.com/weather/pics. Well, this morning, we started out with a passing shower. Now those rain showers have shifted to the north and we're drying out with some sunshine moving in some spots south of I-90. So a bit unsettled for the early to mid-morning in the North Country, drying out for the rest of central New York for the next few hours into the early part of the afternoon. But as we head into the evening, that's when things will get a little bit on the dicey side as a cold front moves through and we could see storms arrive on the stronger side, especially regarding rotating storms. So keep a close eye on those as the day progresses. But again, temperatures this morning starting out in the 70s, 73 in Whitesboro, 71 in Westmoreland. So we're going to continue to warm up into the upper 80s to near 90. We'll talk about those temperatures again, the risks for storms coming up straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Chobani is rolling out a new product to help those who...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. We are tracking the potential for some strong storms this evening, but not the entire day will be a washout. So let's first take a look at the severe weather risk for the general area. The Brown region indicated here as level 3 out of 5 risk for severe storms. And the two main concerns will be flooding potential as well as potential for some rotating storms to possibly drop a tornado. So a lot of busy weather expected this evening, but for now, things are pretty quiet. A live look at downtown Utica early today. Passing shower passed by, now cloudy skies, 72, very humid. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Quiet conditions here locally, but again, those rain showers have shifted to the north. We're now in the wake of a warm front. Now a cold front will arrive from the west as we head into this evening. And several severe weather ingredients are present today. High temperatures, high humidity, and wind shear, or changing of wind speed or direction as you head up in the atmosphere. And with all that in play, the approaching system of Hurricane Beryl, which is now post-tropical cyclone Beryl, a lot of the rotational winds are already gone near the surface, but the system still can produce some elevated rotational winds, and these could mix down into the surface as we head into this evening. And notice right here, right around 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. onwards, that's our best shot of seeing these storms roll through. Now, the other concern being, besides strong storms, will be potential for some heavier rainfall, ponding on roadways, flooding concerns, because these downpours have a lot of moisture to work with. We're talking about locations seeing anywhere between 2, maybe 3 inches of rain. I think 5 inches on our model here is a bit on the extreme side, but it is possible, although just unlikely. But heading to our Skycast, again, these clouds this morning give way to sunshine in very warm conditions, already in the upper 80s, low 90s. And the more sunshine we see, the greater the instability in the atmosphere that could allow these storms to be on the stronger side. So 5 p.m., here comes that cold front, and we'll start to see these storms roll through. Again, these could produce heavier downpours, and we're going to keep a close eye on any rotational signatures with these throughout the afternoon and evening. So be sure to stay with us throughout the day on WKTV, as well as on our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. You can download it right there with your phone. You can scan it, and it will send you notifications of any warnings or flooding concerns. But following this evening into tonight, we're quiet for Thursday. No severe weather potential expected, and even drier weather patterns expected for Friday and into Saturday, with some sunshine to start out for Boilermaker Sunday. Hopefully, though, the rain holds off as we head into Sunday afternoon.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And today, definitely an alert day for people to watch out for. I know you're keeping an eye on things all day long here.
Yes, I am. Jill is this afternoon. Bill's also going to be on standby. The whole weather team's going to be on standby today while watching the potential for some strong storms. So let's take a look at what the outlook is for today. Again, this is the overall risk for rotating storms or tornadoes for today. Notice we're in the brown and yellow region. We don't normally see this risk zone here in central New York, but with a lot of ingredients at play here, high temperatures, high humidity, wind shear or changing wind speed and direction with altitude. These are all prime ingredients for storms to tap into this and produce storms on the stronger side. On top of that, there's also flooding concerns. Flood watch is in effect for the counties in green, as some storms could linger over an area for a longer period of time, otherwise known as training. And these, of course, could cause flooding concern in poor drainage or flood-prone areas. 73-degree start to your day in Rome. Already out in Albany, it's 82 degrees at 7 in the morning. And we're expecting a very warm day today. And so, a live look at the radar. Quiet here locally, but again, some rain showers falling in Lewis County, out in Old Forge, Inlet, Eagle Bay. But for now, things are quiet. But out to the west is where we'll start to see some showers and storms begin to arrive. So we'll keep a very close eye on the radar today. Of course, stay with us here on News Channel 2, as well as download the app right there in the bottom of your screen with your phone. This will send you warnings directly to your phone notifications. Great for those of you who are out and about and don't have consistent access to a television. We'll, of course, go on air if we have any tornado warnings of that sort. But, of course, we'll keep a close eye on everything of the latest details on this forecast coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
82 degrees at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Very warm already in Albany.
Holy cow. Wow. Eric, thanks. Newly proposed.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning and welcome back. Already a mild, in fact, warm start to the day today. However, we are tracking a system arriving from the west, the remnants of Beryl, that could produce some stronger storms. The main risks today are going to be from flooding concerns as well as rotating storms. Notice here the dark brown area indicating level 3 out of 5 risk for severe storms. Typically the highest level we see here in central New York. We usually don't get into the red or even pink categories, at least for the past several years, past decade. So again, the main concern being flooding and rotating storms. Downtown Utica right now, we're quiet and dry. A passing shower shifted north under mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 70s with very high humidity. And the radar right now, a little busy up to the north and west, as expected, but to the south and to the east, we're quiet and dry. But again, out to the west, this is the system that is going to impact us here heading into this afternoon. One of the concerns being potential for some heavier downpours, sustained downpours, which could cause rainfall totals in some locations to exceed 2, maybe 3 inches of rain. We could have some spots going as high as 5 inches of rain, but again, that's an outlier, but it's not a complete impossibility just yet. But let's head straight to our Skycast, because we want to time everything out today. So clouds this morning give way to some sunshine by this afternoon. We'll warm up very quickly. With that sun in place and that strong south wind, I would not be shocked if a lot of locations already reach the upper 80s, low 90s. Then, following that, around 5 or so p.m., we could see a stray storm or two fire up ahead of this front, but this cold front moving through the region is what we're tracking. Lots of humidity, lots of high temperatures, and high shear, or changing wind speed and direction with altitude. And those are all ingredients that these storms can tap into. These could turn severe, so if you want any up-to-date information along with these, any warnings sent directly to your phone, you can download the Storm Tracker Weather app by scanning it with your camera right there below me on your screen. But following this evening, weather quiets down. Severe weather risk is 0 by tonight and early tomorrow. Rain chances diminish heading into Friday. dry for Saturday and a dry start for Boilermaker Sunday before potential showers return in the afternoon.
With Gary Liberatore.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And an alert day of all alert days today, boy.
Yes, we got a pretty busy afternoon. Of course, we'll have team coverage throughout the afternoon and evening. I'll be in, Jill will be in, Bill will be on standby as well. So we're keeping a close eye on things across the board. Let's take a look at what's going on across the region early this afternoon. The tornado risk has expanded for pretty much all of Oneida County, Herkimer County, Otsego County, pretty much all of central New York, at around a 10% risk, which, again, is low, but we're talking about the fact that we don't usually see risk zones like this. Last time we had a risk zone like this was in 2018. Heat index values already pushing mid-90s, high heat, high humidity, and plenty of wind shear in the atmosphere, all ingredients for storms to potentially turn severe. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We're still seeing a few storms beginning to pop up out in western New York. A tornado warning has been issued for area locations just north of Erie and just south of Buffalo. And a few more storms are starting to form. As you mentioned earlier on, the main risks being potentially rotating storms as well as flooding concerns, as some of these storms could roll over the same area for an extended period of time. Now again, next 12 hours, we're tracking the potential for some storms. A tornado watch is likely to be issued within the next hour or so. We'll let you know the latest details on that and keep a close eye on the radar throughout this afternoon. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The village of Whitesboro is offering sandbags to residents all day today. Sandbags are available. They started to be available at noon at the Highway Garage, which is at the near of the very end of the west end of Main Street. So if you take Main Street all the way west, down there on the right, you will see the garage. They'll be located to the left of the garage by the salt barn. Of course, we do have a crew down there in Whitesboro right now, and we'll have much more from Whitesboro tonight at 5 and 6. Well, as people across Texas clean up the mess left behind Hurricane Beryl, there is a serious new worry today, the impact of scorching triple-digit temperatures. Millions of people in the state there don't have power or access to air conditioning. Temperatures probably over 100 degrees. NBC's Kathy Park is in Houston with the very latest.
We are here in another hard-hit community in Houston, entering now day 3 without power. It's already feeling muggy right now. Highs will climb into the 90s. The heat index will likely climb into the triple digits once again across Houston. Yesterday, we saw folks cleaning up and also fueling up long lines at gas stations and fast food restaurants. CenterPoint Energy, the main utility company here in Houston, says they have restored power to roughly a third of its customers. But right now, there is no clear timeline as to when everyone will have their power restored. But it's not just Houston that is dealing with this oppressive heat. Roughly 120 million Americans are baking coast to coast. In fact, in New York, entering a 5th consecutive day in the 90s. Las Vegas breaking a record yesterday, reaching 119 degrees. And as Beryl finally makes its exit, a final blow in Indiana, a twister touchdown in rural parts of that state. So lots of powerful storms that we're already dealing with this summer. But again, that extreme heat is a big headline as well. Back to you.
NBC's Kathy Park reporting from Houston, and Beryl making its way to our area now. And if you don't already have it, now is the time to get that weather app. Just take out your cell phone right now, scan the QR code on the screen, or head to your app store. And of course, stay with News Channel 2 throughout the day for the very latest on Beryl's effects here in central New York when it comes to possible flooding and even tornado alerts, as Eric has been mentioning. Of course, we'll be on the air if there is an alert. Tornado warning that is declared later today. Again, we'll be on the air, online, and again on that News Channel 2 weather app. Well, FAA investigators are still looking into what caused the near.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, we were on standby for a tornado watch, and that tornado watch has just been issued for pretty much all of central New York. This includes counties of Lewis, Herkimer, Hamilton, Oneida, Fulton, Montgomery, Madison, Shenango, Otsego, all of central New York included in this watch. And a reminder that a watch means that ingredients are present for severe weather to begin to form. There is no immediate concern, but it's a good idea right now. Again, with the conditions in place right now, you can see highest risks being flooding and potential for rotating storms, and the bullseye of it directly over the central New York region. To download the Storm Tracker 2 weather app, you'll have live access to radar, satellite, and future radar. On top of that, it notifies you of severe warnings. In fact, the warning for a tornado watch was sent just to our phones within the past few minutes. It also notifies you of nearby lightning strikes and heavy rain. Very beneficial for those of you who are not near a TV, at least for the entire afternoon today. You're out and about, you have any weather alerts. This is a great way to get that. You can see here live radar just on the phone right now. And on top of that, you can see that it'll give you an hour-by-hour forecast across the board. Downtown Utica right now, the concerning part is the sunshine. The sun is adding to that instability. 87, 74 degree dew point. It feels like 95 out. We got tropical humidity in place. The environment is very favorable for storms to rapidly intensify. So I'm taking a look at some of these storms right now. Zooming out a little bit, a tornado warning in effect, again, just south of Buffalo. Some stronger storms north of our area in St. Lawrence County, Jefferson County, and parts of Lewis County. And again, back to that tornado warning at this point. Things are looking a little bit dicey out there. But I'm going to go off screen right now because I'm going to take a look at some of the velocity signatures here in some of these storms, because this is developing on the spot. So I'm going to take a look right here in velocity signatures right now to keep an eye on if any of these storms rotate. And so far, we're in the clear. We've got nothing too alarming right now, but we'll keep a close eye on the radar throughout the afternoon. Another concern with this system as well is potential for some heavier rainfall. Again, the 5 inches of rain in Utica is not likely, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities today. We've got rainfall totals in some spots exceeding 2, maybe 3 inches of rain within the span of only a few hours. So there's a concern for potential flooding in isolated spots. And so in our Skycast, you can see here these storms starting to form, intensifying. At least most of these storms will take place between roughly 5 and 8 p.m. That's when the arrival of the front takes place. Following midnight tonight, we're not tracking any severe weather risk. So this is mainly an evening issue, which will be over and done with. In fact, besides a few spotty showers on Thursday, it's shaping out to be a completely inactive day weather-wise with no risk for severe weather. So again, your 7-day forecast. We have an alert day for today, only for today. Things quiet down by the end of the work week into the weekend, starting out relatively dry, keeping a close eye on Boilermaker Sunday and seeing if any of those showers and storms develop earlier on in the day. But for now, the sunshine looks to stick for the morning just in time for the race. So again, we're keeping a close eye on the radar throughout the afternoon, as well as later on this evening if any storms to intensify.
And we mentioned it early, but a good time to download that weather app.
Very useful. Sends warnings directly to your phone.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Coming up, opening arguments begin today, and actor Alec Baldwin's. Welcome back. Meteorologist Eric Gage joining us, and you just mentioned a tornado watch already in effect, right?
Yes, for pretty much all of upstate New York, including all of central New York. And on the radar right now, we have some storms that are somewhat concerning. So let's take a look at the radar. I'm going to stick on this for the next minute or so. We have a storm in southwest Madison County, which is showing signs of weakly rotating. It's still up in the atmosphere. It's not concerning just yet, but again, these storms are starting to rotate. We can start to see some of these signatures of these velocity couplets way up in the sky. Again, it's weakly rotating, but something to mention too, out in western New York, a confirmed tornado has touched down south of Buffalo. You can see the storm right down here. So we're talking about a risk for some storms. Again, these storms have potential to produce some damage as well. A train spotter reported tree damage, again, south of that area. So Again, we're keeping a close eye on the radar right now. These storms all across the region from western New York all the way over to here in Oneida County, Lewis County, Hamilton County. All these locations here have storms that have the potential of turning severe. So again, we're keeping a close eye on the radar for the next several minutes into the rest of News Channel 2 at noon and throughout the afternoon. If any warnings do pop up, for example, a tornado warning, we will be live on air as well on our Facebook page, so you can stay tuned for that. So again, I'll keep a close eye on the radar, and I'll send it right back to you, Gary.
Eric, thanks. A train was derailed in southwestern Indiana on Tuesday after a tornado ripped through that area. This happened in Posey County late Tuesday afternoon near a car dealership. The derailment caused traffic delays in the area. So far, no injuries have been reported. Firefighters continue to battle the growing so-called lake fire out in California. The wildfire started on July 5th and brought thousands of firefighters to the Los Padres National Forest. Evacuation warnings have been put in place for several areas. The fire was last reported at just 16% contained. More than 1,100 firefighters from in and out of state are battling the lake fire. So far, it has burned more than 20,000 acres. In San Francisco, fans converged on Oracle Park.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon and welcome back. We are continuing to keep a close eye on the radar this afternoon as a few storms rolling through, a couple of them turning a little bit on the severe side. Again, we have a tornado watch in effect for all of central New York. This means that the environment is favorable for tornadoes to form, but does not mean that there is any immediate danger. However, let's take a look at the radar right now because the storm I mentioned earlier on that was concerning now has a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning tag on it. It is a orange outline with a slightly reddish tint on our system that indicates that the storm is producing some levels of rotation. It's producing a good amount of lightning as well. This includes the areas just outside of Sheds, Erieville, north and west of Georgetown, heading closer to West Eaton and Morrisville. Other people in the warning include Peterborough, Madison, Pecksport, and then right on the border of Oneida County with Augusta. So this is the primary storm we're keeping a close eye on. Another storm up here heading into Lewis County is showing signs of rotation, but it's in a bit of a radar dead zone, so it's a bit hard to track the storm out there. So the concerning reason is because out in western New York, especially south of Buffalo, there is a confirmed tornado warning just south of the area, and it just went updated. There's another confirmed tornado warning out in western New York. So again, we're keeping a close eye on the radar this afternoon. Another tornado possible warning just outside of Wellsville in southwestern New York. So I'm going to take a look at, I'm going to actually move the map back to our home area right here. If I can get the screen to work right now. I'm going to head back to central New York at this point. And again, the storms taking place right now are in Lewis County, just along the border of Madison and Oneida County, the border of Madison and Chenango County, and then parts of Chenango County at this point. So we're still going to keep a close eye on the radar for the next few minutes. But how are things going to shape up today? Well, some of these storms could produce some heavier downpours. I mentioned earlier on that 5 inches or more of rainfall is not a very likely number, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities for today with these rain showers and the incredible amount of humidity in the air. We're talking about dew points in the mid-70s. Those are atypical dew points for this time of year. And on top of that, we're still tracking the arrival of this cold front that'll move through heading into this evening and tonight. That's our highest chance of seeing training storms or storms that move over the area for a longer period of time, which could cause flooding concerns. But for those of you wondering, following this evening, 9 p.m. to midnight onwards, severe weather risk is non-existent. We are over and done with it. The cold front passes, the window for severe storms pass, and we're only talking about a few clouds and some spotty, drizzly conditions heading into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So I'm going to head right back to the radar once more because I want to make sure all of you are seeing the latest scans as it's coming in. And just came in. Tornado warning has been issued for Madison and Oneida County. This includes the areas of Hamilton, Morrisville, Madison, Sangerfield, just south of Stockbridge, includes Georgetown. I take a look at the radar scan right now. When a tornado warning is issued, we are on the air until the tornado warning has expired. So I'm going to stick with this system until the warning expires, which is currently set for 1:30 this afternoon. So again, for now, we're just sticking to wall-to-wall radar storm coverage for the next several half hour, 45 minutes, again, until this storm continues to pass. So again, if you're just tuning in right now, that warning, that at least the storm I was concerned about, has just turned into a tornado warning. This is not confirmed, but it just means that the storm is showing signs of suspicious rotation, and it's expected to continue to move its path into southern Oneida County. So I'm taking a look at some radar scans right now behind the scenes, and I'll try my best to go back on camera as well as this system continues to evolve. And so just in the meantime, I'm going to take a look at some things behind the scenes right now, because this is all developing on the fly. This has just taken place, and of course we're going to keep a close eye on this system, plus if any other storms will continue to develop to be on the stronger side. So again, if you have the Storm Tracker 2 weather app, again, a great time to download it. You can see it right there on the bottom of your screen. You scan it with your phone. This will send you updated notifications. So for example, if you're not right next to the TV, this will give you a heads up on any new warnings that do take place. But again, heading back to the warning, we can see where it's taking place right now in mainly Madison County. The locations included are Morrisville, Madison, Hamilton, just outside of Sangerfield, south of Stockbridge. It passed DeRuyter already, so those of you along the border of that area, you are in the clear. For those of you that are in the warning, again, this is not a confirmed tornado, but just as a precaution, if you are in this area along Route 26 between the intersection of Sangerfield along Route 20, just a heads up that you want to find a way to get into the innermost room of your house, as well as if you do not have a basement, again, you do that. And stay away from windows. It's a primary concern. So in the meantime, since it's just developing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this warning on the air right now. I'm going to set up Facebook Live. So if you know anyone who does not have access to WKTV, we are going to bring WKTV, at least the broadcast from here, onto Facebook Live. So again, we're keeping a close eye on this storm right now. And as the system continues to evolve, we're going to keep a close eye on it. But for now, we're going to keep the radar on this storm. So just give me a few seconds to set everything up. Okay, I'm setting it up on Facebook Live at this point. So again, for those of you who have friends and family that are not watching WKTV right now, do not have access to the station, our primary concern obviously is keeping everyone safe. So of course, we will go in and ahead and go live on the Facebook page, WKTV Weather. The warnings will be posted there. And for now, since I'm setting this up in the background, I'm going to keep another close eye on the radar scan if anything new does pop up here. I'm going to take away the lightning reports right now. I'm not seeing anything concerning regarding significant rotation. And right now, yes, there's no very concerning signs of rotation at this point. But again, the system is still starting to evolve. But again, we're now on other stations at this point. So those of you that have just seen this breaking into coverage, there is a tornado warning in effect for Madison County until 1:30. This includes portions of Oneida County as well, southern Oneida County, including the locations of Lebanon, Morrisville, Hamilton, Madison, Augusta, and Sangerfield. These locations are just in the area of the warning. Now, again, I am seeing some signs of rotation. We're looking at what's called a velocity couplet. There's green and red right here, and This is what we use to detect velocity signatures, or in this instance, rotation in the sky. So I'm going to head to the correlation coefficient. I'm going to check for any signs of debris at this point. And so far, there looks to be nothing that is standing out to me, which is good news because this storm, again, is showing signs of rotation. That's why there's a tornado warning on it. And this is a radar indicated tornado, not a confirmed tornado. So there's no indication that the radar is on the ground at this point. There are confirmed tornado warnings out in western New York, for example, just south of Buffalo. But here locally, this is the only storm at this point that we are looking at that has the greatest concern. Another storm for those up in Lewis County. There is a storm that is showing signs of some heavier wind speeds right there, the indications of some bright reds in that spot. That includes locations of North Osceola and, again, parts of Lewis County. But for now, we're going to stick our focus primarily to this storm right here in Madison County. So, in the background right now, for those of you watching the broadcast on WKTV, I'm going behind the scenes right now, adding this to our Facebook page. So for those that do not have access to this station, can also view this as well. And so I'm just setting this up behind the scenes. Okay, well, looks like we'll take the graphic for that. So yes, for right now, while I'm setting this up, again, if you do not have the app, I recommend getting it right now because this will give you access to the warnings on the fly. If you're not right near TV, warnings will get sent right to your phone near locations of notifications of nearby lightning strikes, of nearby downpours. Those are all get sent to your phone on top of the warnings as well. So again, if you do not have the app, I recommend downloading it right now. And I want to try my best to provide updates on the air at this point. So I'm going to take just about 30 seconds or so to set this up on Facebook Live. Okay, I should be live on Facebook in just a few seconds. I'm going to set up the microphone so everyone can hear me on Facebook as well. And so, again, those of you just tuning in, if you are outside of the Madison County, Southern Onondaga County region, this is not an immediate concern at this point. But for those of you in the Madison County area, there is a rotating storm that has a tornado warning on it. It does not mean that the tornado is on the ground. This is not a confirmed tornado. But just a heads up that this storm could produce a tornado. And so I'm going to take off the lightning labels right here so we can give a better idea of the rotation signature on air right now. And so far, it is showing signs of rotation, but there's nothing alarming. For example, in last year, there were a lot more alarming signatures of at least some sort of debris or the velocity couplet, or the red and greens next to each other, which indicated stronger rotation. So
the National Weather Service in Binghamton has issued a tornado warning for South Central Oneida County in central New York, Southern Madison County in central New York, until 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Delaware Reader, or 14 miles west of Hamilton, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Hazard, tornado and quarter-size hail. Source, radar indicated rotation. Impact, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This dangerous storm will be near Georgetown and Iraville around 12:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Morrisville and Pierceville around 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Hamilton around 1:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Pecksport around 1:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Madison and Solesville around 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Augusta around 1:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Repeating, a tornado warning has been issued until 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties in New York, Madison, and Oneida.
I'm now doing this both simultaneously on Facebook Live and right here on WKTV. So I'm going to take a look at some debris signatures right now, see if anything pops up that's alarming to me. Again, nothing that sticks out, which is extremely good news, because the one thing I do not want to see right now is any alarming indication of rotation, A, debris signature, B, or of course anything that indicates an extremely strong storm capable of producing some significant wind damage. So again, for right now, the warning is in effect for Morrisville, Erieville. The tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for Nelson, Smithfield, Stockbridge for the time being. So I'm going to take off the lightning right now. I'm going to keep a close eye on this velocity signature right now. Those of you tuning in, like this is not something that is developing several hours in advance. This is happening minute by minute. So I'm with you right now through all of this as the system continues to form. I'm looking at the latest data along with you guys right now, and I always want to provide the exact latest conditions as they take place. So again, for right now, we're still on air until the warning expires at 1:30 this afternoon. And of course, meteorologist Jill Reel will be in shortly as well. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis is also on standby, going out and taking a look at some of these storms as well. So we have team coverage right now, and we'll keep a close eye on this radar. So let's head back to the radar once more. Again, I'm not seeing anything that is sticking out too much at this point. We're seeing some rotation in the storm cloud. I'm going to move to different radars because I want to see a different perspective either way. I'm going to remove the warnings and watches at this point. And it still looks like the storm is rotating. Yes, this was warned based off of those bright greens in the bottom of your screen right there, and especially from the radar out in Albany. These are indications of a rotating storm. But again, we use some other radars, and the rotation signature is not quite so dramatic. But there is. On the top of your screen, you can see the scale. It means outbound and inbound wind direction. It means that the storm is rotating. The brighter the color, the stronger the winds. And so for now, we're just keeping a close eye on the radar at this point and seeing if these colors brighten or if anything shows indication of debris on the ground. But if you are in the tornado warning, again, this is not a high concern because we're not looking at anything that is indicating severe at least, or a tornado on the ground at this point, but treat any warning as if it is real. So if you are in the tornado warning locations outside of Morrisville, in the tornado possible warning in Nelson, Peterborough, Stockbridge, I recommend just going inside to the centermost portion of your home, go in the basement if you can, stay away from windows, and of course, we'll keep you up to date with the warnings as they do come along. If this does get updated, in my opinion, I think this warning will get updated to shift more in a northerly track. The storm has shifted eastward, or westward, I should say, within the past several minutes. And something in meteorology that we usually track as well, that storms that split off to the left typically weaken more than storms that strengthen out to the right. So for now, we're going to keep a close eye on the velocity scans at this point. And again, this storm is still rotating. We got a rotating storm. heading in between Nelson and Morrisville along Route 20. The path of the center of this rotation is right here. It's going to continue to move more and more north into central to northern Madison County, heading closer to Smithfield, Stockbridge, and towns of just to the east of Aleen as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on this rotation. These radar scans get submitted every 5 minutes. We get an update every 5 minutes on the conditions in the atmosphere, and this is our the best ability to keep a close eye on any of these storms if they happen to turn severe. There is another rotating storm south of this I want to keep an eye on too as well. This is just north of Osceola in Madison County right here, another velocity couplet that we're going to keep a close eye on. So we have two separate rotating storms here in Madison County. And again, the warning does extend into parts of Oneida County at this point. But again, if you are in this warning zone, regardless of the tornado warning, the other warning that is overlaid on this right now is a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. So if you are involved with any of these warnings, if you're in any of those town locations, just again, go to the centermost room of your home, go into your basement if you do have one. Again, if you don't, center of your home. And on top of that, you always want to stay away from windows, because even if some of these storms produce some decent wind gusts, the windows have potential of shattering as well. So again, those of you just tuning in right now, this is a isolated warning for Madison and southern Oneida County. If you're in Herkimer County, Otsego County right now, there's no immediate threat at this point, but we're keeping a close eye on the radar. We're keeping a close eye on all the instruments we have behind the scenes right now to see if anything does develop further with these two storms we're keeping a close eye on. So let's take a look back at the radar once more. And I'm going to see if there's any new updates with the latest radar scans. And yes, we still have indication of two rotating storms. This rotating storm, the center of it, is right here south of Route 20. The second rotating storm is just outside of Georgetown, in between Route 26, Route 80, in between sheds in Georgetown along that road as well. And this is also in that tornado warning. So there's two rotating storms, nothing indicating anything that is extremely indicative of a tornado on the ground, but this is a radar indicated tornado warning. So this storm has the potential of dropping a tornado. In fact, the storms that have dropped a tornado have been in out near Buffalo. There's a confirmed tornado warning south of that region as well. This warning was just put in Lewis County. This is also another tornado possible warning. There are some strong wind gusts heading near to Lowville. In fact, it's just south of Martinsburg, south of Route 26 in Page, and Westmore, north of Michigan Mills. And we'll keep a close eye on those storms as well. But our primary focus, obviously, for right now is going to be in this location here in Madison County, where there are two rotating storms taking place at this point. So again, I'm just taking a look behind the scenes right now with any updates behind the scenes. Meteorologist Joe Reel will be here momentarily. She is on the way, and that way once she comes in, I can go on camera and I can give you guys more of an idea of what's going on at this point. So again, those of you just tuning in, two rotating storms in Madison County, tornado warning in effect. If you are in the Morrisville region, north of West Eaton, Erieville, Georgetown, those locations, find a way to get inside to the lowest part of your house, in the interior part of your house, as well as stay away from windows, get in your basement if you need. And again, we're going to keep a close eye on these storms if we see any additional indications of it strengthening at this point. So for now, again, the warnings are in effect until 1:30. We're on the air until these warnings continue to pass. But these storms, the path of them at this point, they are taking a more northerly trend. And although I'm saying they're not showing significant signs of rotation, they're not completely dissolved just yet. So close eye on these storms at this point. So for right now, since there's no immediate concern, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right after this.
The stress is that.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. We are taking a look at the radar right now, and so far, again, not showing any signs of strengthening. These storms look like the rotation has weakened in both of these, but the rotation signature is still there. So I'm going to go on camera right now while meteorologist Joe Reel will be behind the scenes momentarily. I'm going to head to the green screen in just a second. But again, thank you for tuning in right now. We're going to keep a close eye on the radar for the next hour or so, at least for the next half hour. This tornado warning ends at 1:30. We'll see if they add an additional warning tag to it, extend the warning, or move it around. So let's take a look back at the radar once more. And so for now, again, the warning zone is in primarily Madison County. It includes parts of Oneida County, but the primary area is in Madison County. And these storms are showing signs of weakly rotating. It was stronger earlier on. They have weakened a little bit, but the signature is still there. So I'm going on the green screen right now. Those of you on Facebook Live, it might be difficult to hear me. I'll try to point the camera in the middle so you guys can hear as well. And again, here's the signatures we're looking at right now. We got the rotation signature right here and rotation signature right here, passing north of Route 20, and the same one just to the west of Hamilton. So again, the warning is in effect until 1:30. If you are in this zone, and I think, Jill, this is still showing some signs of rotation.
Yeah, it definitely does. It looks like it's heading, to the north. They're thinking a little bit more north than east. So it could be heading up Route 26. That's would be my biggest concern right now, up towards Eden. And then as you're heading towards Morrisville and Madison as well. And then we got this other signature, which Eric's going to talk about right up here, just making its way towards Smithfield.
Yes, that's right. And it's, again, there's weak rotations. This is nothing that indicates strong rotation or potential tornado on the ground, but treat every tornado warning or tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning as if it is the real thing, because you want to make sure you are safe in an event like this. So, yes, if you want to go back to the radar, we can take a look at that. Yes, some heavier rain, thunder and lightning. Besides the risk of a tornado, these are producing heavier downpours, typical tornado threats at this point. We got two storms back to back right now, and in my opinion, I think these storms are stealing energy from one another, and that's what's saving it from producing a strong rotational velocity signature at this point. So again, the warning's until 1:30. This is primarily for the Hamilton, Madison, Morrisville, Madison County area at this point. And again, these storms are shifting north and east, heading into the southern portions of Oneida County. And the storm track that Jill put on right now, it says 117 Sigbee Corners, 132 Sangerfield, 140, and it looks to be Hoblin Corners at this point. So again, we're keeping a close eye on these storms. So far, there's no additional warnings popping up right now. I think good call for at this point. These storms are showing some signs of weakening, but the rotation signature is still there.
Yeah, and with these storms, of course, as Eric's pointing out those locations, again, with a tornado warning, you want to make sure, first of all, you're indoors, but second of all, in the interior part of your home, that could be a bathroom, any interior room that doesn't have windows, you want to make sure that you're in that room throughout the warning. And on top of that, you also, if you can, get into a basement until that warning expires. So we got about 15 minutes for this warning, and we just got another warning, a severe thunderstorm warning for Shenango and Madison County as well. So we're keeping an eye on these two warnings. There's one down here. So if Eric wants to pop up right there, here's another one.
Yeah, so the warning just popped up again. We got several storm cells popping up with warnings. These are back to back to back, and it looks like, yes, it's a tornado possible warning. We can see the red outline right there. So all these storms taking place in Madison. This one, in fact, just in northern Shenango County near Osceola, outside of Cincinnatus. These are producing heavier downpours, thunder and lightning, and showing signs of weakly rotating. No confirmed tornado. Those of you tuning in, there's no confirmed tornado on the ground just at this point yet, but a heads up that these storms are rotating and have the potential of dropping a tornado. So treat every one of these warnings as if it's the real thing. It's better to be safe in situations like this. As you can see here, regardless of whether there's a tornado on the ground, these are pretty strong storms in Madison County at this point. So yes, take a look at velocity once more on that tornado-warned storm. It looked like the middle one, yes, still showing some signs of rotating right here. Again, we're not looking at bright greens and reds. Those are the concerning ones for strong velocity couplets. But this storm's still rotating. If we can take a look at the storm north, let's see if we have any signature. Yes, there's still some rotation signature right there. Again, nothing extremely concerning. But again, the path of these storms heading north and east. This will approach the border of Madison and Oneida County within the next several minutes or so. In fact, Route 46, outside of Stockbridge Valley Mills at 117, this storm will continue to move into the area. But again, there's multiple storms, not just one. These are independently behaving, independently rotating, and these are producing potential wind gusts of a few several miles per hour. So again, some stronger wind gusts, some heavier downpours, thunder and lightning, the primary concerns at this point. And for now, we're going to keep a close eye on these storms as they continue to shift north and east into Oneida County.
I'm going to put a track on this for you, Eric, for this storm. So it is heading more north than east. So just several locations, including Eaton, Balkville, Madison, as well as Oriskany Falls and Singerfield. So if you are in any of these locations, again, take the proper precautions, head indoors, and if you can, an interior room of your house, like a bathroom, or as well as in a basement. As Eric said, this storm is beginning to weaken a bit, and as it does, it still has the features of some rotation. So we are keeping a close eye on the intensity of this storm. But again, we have several storms that are close together, so there is potential that they're losing their energy because of the close proximity to both of them. So we got two. They canceled the one up north in Stockbridge, Eric, but we have one down here in Shenango County that has been issued. This is just a thunderstorm warning, and this is until 2 o'clock, and this does include Sealick as well as Earlville, just north of Sherburne. But our biggest concern right now, of course, is that tornado warning in Madison and southwestern parts of Oneida County, including a little bit of Route 12 as you head up towards 12B, heading towards Madison.
Yes, yeah. So the warning has expired for the storm up north. As we expected, the rotation signature was weakening. But again, we're keeping a close eye on this storm right here, which is still in the vicinity of the tornado warning at this point. Now, there's another storm out to the south and out to the west. This showing some weak signs of rotating, but again, not a tornado warning, just a tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning. But for those of you who are in this zone of Hamilton, Madison, Morrisville, even though there's no confirmed tornado, just as an extra precaution, head indoors, head into the centermost portion of your home, head into a basement if you have one, and stay away from windows. Those are the primary steps to avoid any injury with storms like these.
And just from the National Weather Service in Binghamton, the tornado radar signature, so what we're talking about, those greens and reds, they are indicating that it's heading towards the town of Eaton and Morrisville within the next 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to pass just north of Hamilton, but it's going to be a close call. There is, again, no ground confirmation, but there is radar indication of, again, those winds beginning to bend and turn where you see the greens and the reds. That means inbound and outbound wind. So again, if you live in town of Eaton, Morrisville, make sure you take cover, as well as Hamilton. So again, our area of concern is going to be in those locations within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Eric's pointing it out right there. There's your signature, and it's heading again to the north and to the east. So Eric?
Yes, heading north to the east, and this is the rotation signature we're mentioning right now, and this is shifting north of Hamilton, in between Morrisville, Madison, Route 20. This is where this system is heading at this point. So this is the single storm that still has a tornado warning on it until 1:30 this afternoon. So we're still going to be on air between now and 1:30 until the warning expires, a new warning is issued, or any new developments form with any of these additional storms, because there's another rotating storm south of this area. If you want to head to that, this has a tornado possible tag on it, not a tornado warning. I want to take a look at the radar scan or the velocity scan in just a second. I want to see how this is looking at this point. Not too impressive. But again, these storms are showing some signs of rotating, and we're keeping a close eye on these as they continue to shift more north and east into the Mohawk Valley area.
I just want to put on the coefficient just to see if there's any signatures of any debris. Doesn't really look like, maybe a little bit to the west of Hamilton, but nothing too significant at this point in time. So what we are looking at is when you have the radar, of course, it's detecting rain, but when you see those bright colors that Eric's pointing out, that means there's something else in the air besides rain. Sometimes we correlate that with hail, but we're not seeing any hail with these type of thunderstorms today, so may indicate some debris along the lines with this tornado warning. So we're going to go back to the radar. Again, we're going to keep a close eye on this storm as it heads to the north and to the east. So again, if you live in Hamilton as well as Morrisville, Madison, you're already dealing with those thunderstorms. Now, I just want to extend this a little bit further to the north and to the east. So if you live in areas like Sangerfield, I would take cover, as well as Waterville, Paris Station, Marshall. While you are not under the warning right now, that storm is knocking on your doorstep, so I would take the proper precautions. Again, if you live across extreme southern Oneida County, including Route 12 and Route 20, as we are going to keep a close eye on the storm. Again, we still got 10 more minutes with this warning, but we're going to keep a close eye and see if they extend that warning into more of Oneida County.
Yes, and that's the key here, is that even though the warning covers this area, it doesn't mean that you're out of the woods if you're, for example, out in Sangerfield and areas out to the north and east, closer to, for example, Cassville along Route 8. This is just the immediate warning concern. And so for, again, the areas in this warning, the immediate concern is a rotating storm that has the potential of producing a tornado. And the velocity signatures, again, not impressive, but still showing signs of rotation. In fact, she's circling it right there. This is the location we're keeping a close eye on, just outside of West Eden. It's heading north and east through Route 20. It's going to be north of Hamilton, heading north of Pecksport, along the border right there, and heading north of Madison, also along Route 20. So, in fact, she's putting a storm track right here. The areas affected: 126 Pine Woods, 130 at Balkville, 135 Madison, 143 Oriskany Falls, and if it extends that far out enough to Route 15, we're talking about 148 out in Brothertown. So again, we're going to keep a close eye on the system. These storms are moving north and east into an environment that's still favorable for tornadoes. We've got dew points in the mid-70s. We've got high heat. We've got wind shear in the atmosphere. All the ingredients are present for these storms to have the potential of rotating. We can see these storms rotating right here, but again, the rotation signature is not too impressive, which is good news, but we have to keep a close eye on this velocity couplet.
And I just, the chief alone, Mr. Bill Cardis, he's actually chasing this right now. And he says he has a great view of this cell and he doesn't see any visible rotation. So that is actually some good news. So sometimes when the National Weather Service issues tornado warnings, they're looking at the radar. So what Eric was just showing you, the greens and the reds, which I'll show you right now, that indicates that winds are rotating up in the air. Now, that does not mean that there's an actual tornado. So what Bill is looking right now is some kind of rotation in the sky, and he's not seeing it at this point in time. So we're going to keep a close eye. It's good to know that he's down there keeping a bird's eye view of it, but we're also going to keep a close eye again on this rotation that is just making its way towards Eaton at this point in time.
Yeah, so Bill Cardis is right in this vicinity right here next, or not in the rotational signature, but nearby it, where he has a view of it. And again, it's a good news. He's not seeing any visible signs of rotation to the surface, which means that the tornado warning, which is in effect, means that the storm is possibly rotating, but there's no confirmed tornado on the ground at this point. So no immediate danger for the region, but as an extra precaution, as this storm continues to hook more north and east, if you are in the Pine Woods region heading north along Route 46, looks like Augusta, I have to read sideways here, Augusta-Salisville Road towards Augusta, Route 26, Route 20, this location in this vicinity right here is in the path of this storm, which again has the potential of strengthening or weakening. It all depends on how the energy transfer in the atmosphere takes place. So for now, because a warning is in effect in this location, we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on this storm as it continues to shift more north.
And
east.
another thing to point out too is that this area in the red is under that tornado warning, but there's also on top of that, there is also severe thunderstorm warning because there's another storm to the south that's really beginning to strengthen. And this is in northern Shenango County, but it's heading towards Irville. It's also heading towards the area that's also under the tornado warning. So if you live in West Eden and the conditions are improving, don't go outside just yet because you have another storm right behind it that will be moving into the area. The one positive about this is that tornado warning cell is sucking all the energy out of the atmosphere. So I do believe that this cell down here will probably weaken as it pushes to the north and to the east. And we just got a new update on our radar. And we're seeing that now it's towards Morrisville, Pine Woods, Madison. I'm going to put the velocity scan on this for you, Eric, and see what we got here. There you go.
Yeah, still showing some rotation signature. And what Jill mentioned is a great point. These storms, they feed off of energy in the atmosphere. If there's multiple storms in a row, they're going to steal energy from each other, which is good news because it means that these storm cells don't have the potential of strengthening to their full capacity. But it still means that the environment's favorable for storms to form rotational signatures like we see here in Eagleville. In fact, the bullseye of the rotational signature is right over that town, heading through Morrisville, in between Morrisville and Pine Woods, heading into Route 46 right around now because the radar scans take roughly 5 or so minutes for each scan. This storm cell is probably right over Route 20 right now, and it's gradually heading towards Route 46. Pratt's, if you're in that location, again, no immediate tornado risk, but as a precaution, go ahead and head inside to your basement, to your innermost portion of your home if you don't have a basement, or the most concerning thing is staying away from windows.
And then on top of, Pratt's right there, but as Eric was saying earlier, Augusta, Oriskany Falls, I would also take cover. You are under that tornado warning. Again, it is just making its way through Morrisville, so it's probably already in Pratt's at this point in time, just north of Pine Woods. Again, crossing Route 46, and it's going to head its way towards the southwestern part of Oneida County. So again, Oriskany Falls, Augusta, this is going to be the area of concern next. If this tornado warning extends, and we got about 4 minutes left of this warning, so we're going to see what the National Weather Service decides to do. It's kind of interesting that this rotation is almost on the outside of the warning right now. Again, it's heading towards Morrisville, again, and Pratt, so we're going to keep a close eye on this. And then on top of that, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning just to the south. So again, just south of Pine Woods, just south of Eaton, it's heading towards Eaton. So right now, it's making its way to the north and to the east in Madison County. I'm going to zoom out and just show you exactly what's happening. So all our focus right now is in Madison, as well as northern Shenango and southern Oneida County. Again, just the extreme southwestern parts of Oneida County. And then we are going to continue to track this storm. Again, it's moving to the north and to the east, so it's going to again, weaken a bit as it heads towards Hamilton as well as Eatonville, Sangerfield as well. You're also seeing this storm moving through. On top of the potential for damaging wind, you will notice all these lightning bolts. Frequent lightning also associated with this storm, as well as damaging winds. So you could also see some power outages over the next half hour or so with these storms.
Yes, and Jill, could you zoom out a little bit and put a time lapse of this storm? Because it looks like this one is producing some heavier downpours. It looks like it's strengthened recently. Maybe go a little bit more to the south.
Yep.
We can see how this storm is forming. Yeah, so there's several cells starting to form. It looks like, yes, it looks like it's maintaining its strength in terms of downpours and thunder and lightning. But let's take a look at the velocity scan once more. Let's see if this is showing any concerning rotations at this point. And so far, let's see here. It's a bit in a noisy location with the interference. Can we move the radar to Albany? Is this using Albany or is this using?
Let me check.
It'll move the radar scan.
Hold on.
Okay.
Now we got Albany. Why is it not? There's Binghamton.
Yeah. So, but behind the scenes, for those of you that are watching, figuring out what we're doing, we're using multiple radars to see any velocity signatures because
Maybe near Upperville. Is that how you pronounce it? That town?
It looks like it. Upperville. Yeah. In near Bonnie looks like right along Route 80. That's the location of where that storm looks like it's producing the most amount of rotation at this point. But again, the tornado warning is in effect for the next 2 or so minutes, and our primary focus is, of course, going to be on that tornado warned storm, which it looks like it's continuing north to Pratt's Route 46, heading into right along the fringe of Oneida County. And again, we're not looking at anything too concerning regarding this warning, but still treat any warning as if it's the real thing. If you are in the Pratt's area heading closer to Augusta, Oriskany Falls, Route 26, Route 46, this location right here along the border of Madison and Oneida County, go inside, go into your basement if you have one, go into the innermost portion of your home, away from windows, and of course, with systems like this, besides tornado risk, these are of course producing some thunder and lightning as well as some winds.
I just got from the National Weather Service, they are expiring the tornado warning for Madison and Oneida County at 1:30, so about a minute from now, they are going to expire this morning. They have indication that it is weakening and it's losing its rotation, but it's still a strong storm, so if you still live in Oriskany Falls, as well as Augusta, Deansboro, Marshall, you're going to still be dealing with gusty winds as well as very heavy rain and frequent lightning. So even though this tornado warning is going to expire, just be aware you're going to be dealing with a strong thunderstorm. And then just before we go off air, I just want to show you the other thunderstorm. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of northern Shenango and Madison County. This is until 2 p.m. Again, with this storm, we're just seeing reports of damaging wind, hardly any rotation, but also seeing frequent lightning. Again, this is going to head to the north and to the east. So the same area is probably going to be impacted once again with Hamilton as well as West Eden moving to the north and to the east. So as we go throughout the next several hours, this is just the beginning. Eric and I are going to be watching the potential for more in the way of some severe weather back to our west, making its way towards Rochester. This line will be arriving around 5 o'clock and continuing into the evening hours. So this is just round number 1. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning continues for parts of Madison and Shenango counties till 2 o'clock, but we are actually going to go off the air because the tornado warning has ended, and now we're just seeing a strong thunderstorm in Oneida County. Again, for the latest updates, don't forget to download the Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Also go on our weather Facebook page. We'll have updates throughout the afternoon into the evening hours, and of course we'll have the latest information coming up at the Live at 5 News Hour and News Channel 2 at 6. Have a great afternoon.
And this all comes
over the next several hours.
News Channel 2, Live at 5 News Hour.
Tonight at 5, tracking
with Kristen Copeland and Jason Palace.
An active afternoon in the Storm Tracker 2 Weather Center, and the threat is not over yet.
Yeah, I gave Jill just a little bit of a breather, but this line of strong storms is moving in. Meteorologist Jill Reel is tracking from the Weather Center, and in the last few minutes, you really had a better idea of where these storms are moving in.
Yeah, and we've had reports of cities to our west where there has been confirmed tornadoes. Nothing locally, but we do have a tornado warning at this point in time for northwestern parts of Oneida County. This does include the Camden area. And just in at the National Weather Service, they are extending this warning to a severe thunderstorm warning. So there isn't much in the way of rotation anymore with this storm, but now, just into the Weather Center, there is a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:30. This does include Boonville, Ava, Ansville, Florence. Even though this is not a tornado warning anymore, it does indicate that there could be some damaging wind, frequent lightning, and very heavy rain associated with this thunderstorm. So again, a severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for northern Oneida County, including Boonville, Ava, Ansville, and Florence. And this is just one storm out of many. I am going to continue to track these storms as we go throughout the evening hours with more storms on its way across central New York.
Jill, thanks. This is a great day to put the Storm Tracker 2 weather app on your phone. If you haven't already done this, just scan the QR code on your screen with your cell phone camera. This is going to give you access to weather alerts from our local team of meteorologists.
Now, state officials have deployed extra emergency operations personnel, including 6,000 utility workers, to address any downed power lines caused by the storms. More than 4,000 DOT workers have been activated. We spoke with the Emergency Services Commissioner today about staying informed and making a plan.
Tornadoes aren't something we are used to here in New York. And so, in my home, I don't have a basement. So my plan would be go to my first floor, go to the bathroom because there are no windows, or to the closet underneath the stairs. Again, no windows. but everyone needs to know that for their home and their office today. So if you don't know that, figure that out in your own mind right now.
A reminder, never touch a down power line. Keep working flashlights and extra batteries on hand, and if you haven't already done so, get a full charge on your cell phone.
Flooding also a risk today. Let's take a live look at the Sequoia Creek in Whitesboro. This is the Main Street Bridge. TAS Electronics set up this camera years ago to keep an eye on the water level here. Looking great at this point. News Channel 2's Kirk Tupai tells us why the possibility of heavy rain and even a tornado exists.
Oh, wow. Hurricane Beryl was reduced to Tropical Storm Beryl, and now it's a post-tropical depression. The storm would appear to be losing its potential for disaster, but meteorologist Eric Gage explains why the weather conditions here in upstate New York pose a risk for a tornado.
Temperature, humidity, and what's called wind shear, so basically changing wind speed and direction with altitude. And you factor all those in, and you get ingredients like we'll be seeing.
The potential for severe weather has been on the radar for a few days. Now it's wait and see what develops.
These storms will develop within the span of a few minutes, and then another few minutes later, we'll start to see signs of rotation. And then, of course, it only takes a few moments to wait for a radar scan to indicate signs of debris or signs of intense rotation that's indicative of a tornado.
The village of Whitesboro has been prone to flooding in the past, so Deputy Mayor Peter Potasewicz is taking an active approach in preparing the village.
We've made sure that all of the catch basins and storm drains are free of debris, so when the rain does start, that it will be able to get into the drain systems and move away instead of pooling. We've also checked the Sequoia Creek. All the drain tubes down in the flood benches, they're all clear so the water can move.
The village is also providing sandbags for residents at the Village Highway Garage. The Whitesboro Fire Department is preparing for floodwater rescues and any disaster that might occur.
The village has already contacted the 911 system. They're going to go ahead and start doing reverse 911 calls, letting them know. And as it gets worse and we start to see it flooding, we'll go down in there with apparatus, with PA systems, and let them know it's probably time to evacuate their homes.
WKTV Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis hit the road earlier looking for any signs of unusual cloud formations. There is some science behind predicting where a storm will occur, and information gathered from the ground helps when relaying changing conditions.
Just because it's a higher risk day doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but the ingredients are all there. We've got the wind shear, we've got the energy, and it's one of those days where any storm has the capability of rotating.
In Whitesboro, I'm Kirk Tupai reporting for News Channel 2.
And we'll keep you close to the Weather Center as this system progresses. Firefighters in Sequoia, meantime, and neighboring departments.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
We are still under a tornado watch for all of central New York until 9 p.m. On top of that, we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings and a tornado warning at this point in time. So let's take a live look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. As we go throughout this evening, we're going to be tracking several rounds of thunderstorms, but as of right now, we do have one tornado warning that is going to expire within the next minute and a half. It is exiting the Camden area. But on top of that, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is until 5:30. This includes Boonville as well as Ava, just north of Lee, Florence, again, Blossville, any of these areas, Ansville, you're going to be encountering frequent lightning as well as winds over 60 miles per hour. And on top of that, some very heavy rain. I'm going to take the lightning off of this storm just so you can see what the storm entails. If you notice those deeper reds just to the north of Ansville, that indicates some very heavy rain, so do expect ponding on the roadways, especially along Route 26 as well as Route 69 and heading towards Route 46. We're going to put a track on this storm as it continues to head to the north and to the east at about 30 miles per hour. So we'll be near Flint Town at 5:21 and then heading towards Boonville at 5:40. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're not tracking a tornado warning heading towards Boonville, but there may be some rotation with this storm as well as some damaging wind. We still have that tornado warning just to our west. back towards Camden. Again, there was some rotation with this storm, but this is going to expire within the next 15 minutes, and I do not believe the National Weather Service will continue that warning. Now, I want to zoom out and show you what else is going on across central New York. That tornado warning has just expired. As you look to the south, our next area of concern is this tornado warning that is in Cayuga, now heading towards Madison County. It is going to be projected to head to the north and to the east. So if the storm does stay together, if it does not weaken, it will be heading towards the Mohawk Valley within the next hour or so. So Utica, Rome, I know you're not seeing much in the way of storms just yet, but be weather aware that storms will be moving into the region over the next hour, and these storms extend back towards Rochester and Buffalo. So we are going to continue to monitor the potential for some severe weather as we go throughout the evening hours. Just a reminder that tornado warning has been issued until, that tornado watch has been issued until 9 p.m. So do expect the chance for some severe weather over the next couple of hours. And again, notice the rain back towards Toronto. We are going to continue to see rain as we head into tonight and into tomorrow. So on our Skycast by 7 o'clock, you see those thunderstorms continuing to move into the area. We will see some leftover showers as we head into tonight and for tomorrow. No severe weather for tomorrow, but we will see the clouds and on and off showers throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. It still will be humid, but not as hot as what we've been seeing over the next couple of days. So for tonight, again, thunderstorms will be beginning to wind down after about 9-10 o'clock. As we head into tomorrow, scattered showers across the region. Highs in the low 80s. And taking a look at the rest of your forecast, again for tomorrow, scattered showers across the region, but as of right now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday do look dry, but just be aware the heat and humidity are going to return, so it looks a little humid and warm for Boilermaker Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill.
Catch your breath. We'll be back.
We'll find you again. The U.S. aviation workforce is handling more volume, and that requires
tracking of storms right now.
Yeah, meteorologist Jill Reel has the very latest. Jill.
The potential for some strong thunderstorms to move into the Mohawk Valley. Right now, I do have several severe thunderstorm warnings to pass along to you. The first one is across northern Oneida County. This does include western as well as up towards Boonville, just north of Remsen. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, but still has potential for damaging wind as well as heavy rain and frequent lightning. It's making its way towards Forestport, heading up Route 12 as well as Route 28, making its way closer to Woodgate. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued until 6:15. Zooming out, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in parts of Madison County. Now, this severe thunderstorm has had potential of rotation. We've been tracking this storm for about an hour now, but now it is making its way into central Madison County. This severe thunderstorm warning is until 6 p.m. This does include Morrisville as well as Smithfield, heading up towards Stockbridge, right along Route 20 from Cazenovia to Pine Woods. Zooming out, there are more thunderstorms to our west. So again, we're going to continue to track this line of thunderstorms moving through the region at this point in time. There are no tornado warnings, but we do have several severe thunderstorm warnings, so definitely want to be weather aware over the next couple of hours. I will continue to track those storms coming up.
Jill, thank you. Preps for Munson's annual Sidewalk Art Show.
Tornado warning has just popped up. We want to get you back to the Weather Center and meteorologist Jill Reel.
Yeah, this just happened within the last minute or so. The National Weather Service out of Binghamton has issued a tornado warning. This does include central Madison County and now includes central parts of Oneida County. This is the area shaded in red. So we're talking about Stockbridge heading up towards Kirkland, Paris, right along Route 26, as well as Route 5. This area is under that tornado warning until 6 p.m. This also includes Vernon, just outside the city of Utica, but also includes Westmoreland. So I'm going to put a track on this storm for you as it continues to push to the north and to the east. I'm going to take off the lightning for you and track this storm as it makes its way to the north and east at about 35 miles per hour. It's going to be near Stockbridge at 5:45, so pretty much knocking on the doorstep of Stockbridge. 6:15 in Kirkland, and I've extended this outside of the warning area just to give people a heads up. 6:25 in New Hartford. Now, this is a rotation indicated by radar, so it is not a confirmed tornado at this point in time, but the National Weather Service has noticed that there is some rotation with this thunderstorm, and I'm going to show you that right now, what they are actually looking at. So you can see just to the west of Stockbridge, as you head towards Smithfield, between Morris and Nelson, you notice the reds and the greens showing up. That indicates outbound and inbound rotation, or the air is spinning aloft. So even though we do not have a confirmed report of a tornado or a funnel cloud, the radar is indicating that there is some rotation. This is right along Route 20 between Nelson and Morrisville. It is heading to the north and to the east. So if you live in areas like Smithfield, you definitely want to take cover at this point in time along Route 46, so Stockbridge as well. Now, with a tornado and a tornado warning, you just want to be aware that you want to take cover. So you want to head indoors, you want to get in an interior part of your room, and if you can, head to a basement. So again, we do have that tornado warning that has been issued for Madison and parts of Oneida County. My biggest area of concern right now is areas like Morrisville, Smithfield, Pratt's, just making its way towards Nelson. Now, our radar is on about a 5-minute delay, so the towns I'm telling you right now are being impacted by this severe thunderstorm that has the possibility for a tornado to form. Again, it is heading to the north and to the east. So if you live in areas like Stockbridge along Route 46, you want to take cover at this point in time. And then as we make our way closer to Oneida County, areas like Valley Mills and Augusta along Route 26, as you make your way towards Knoxville Road, Deansboro, as well as Franklin Springs, Bennett's Corners. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning extends now into Oneida County. We've been tracking this storm probably for the last hour or so, and there has been some damage reports along with this storm, with winds gusting over 60 miles per hour. On top of that, we've also had heavy rain. So I'm going to put that rainfall up on the screen for you. So you notice, let me take the lightning off. If you notice the deeper reds showing up, that indicates some pockets of some very heavy rain. Rainfalls over an inch an hour. So that could lead to perhaps some flash flooding and ponding on the roadways. I am also looking at the potential for some frequent lightning. So I'm going to put that lightning back up. You'll notice numerous lightning strikes within the last hour. So there is potential for frequent lightning associated with this thunderstorm, along with those damaging winds as well as your heavy rain. So we're going to put that velocity scan back on and take that lightning off just to show you. Again, this is the area of concern right now. It is moving to the north and to the east. So we'll put a track on this again as it heads to the north and to the east. So it is making its way towards Stockbridge and making its way closer towards parts of Oneida County. So Stockbridge at 5:51. And then we're heading towards Kirkland. So areas in the Kirkland region, you definitely want to take cover. You have potential to see damaging wind as well as frequent lightning. So we do advise you to head indoors, away from windows. If possible, you want to go into an interior room where there are any windows, so like a bathroom. Or if you have the opportunity to do so, you want to head into your basement. Again, we do have that tornado warning that has been issued for parts of Madison County and into Oneida County. So we're going to zoom out and show you exactly where this storm is. So it is outside of the Utica-Rome area. So as we go throughout the next half hour or so, we're going to keep an eye on the potential for that tornado warning to expand. But at this point in time, Utica is not under the tornado warning, either is Rome. But you're just on the outskirts of that warning, so I would take precautions at this point in time. On top of this tornado warning, we also have a severe thunderstorm warning in parts of northeastern Oneida County. This does include Boonville, as well as up towards Forestport, just north of Remsen. It is moving to the north and to the east as well. It is also impacting Lewis County like Leiden and Lyonsdale. We are also tracking this storm as it heads to the north and east, so Old Forge will be impacted at some point in time, as well as White Lake and Otter Lake. But our big focus is that tornado warning. Again, a tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service. This is for Madison and parts of Oneida County. This warning extends until 6 p.m., so you'll hear me talk about this warning until it expires at 6 p.m. So we are tracking this area with heavy rain as well as frequent lightning, but our biggest concern is what we call velocity or rotation. So I'm going to take the lightning off for you and take a look at where that rotation is at this point in time. You can see it's just south of Peterborough, just north of Morrisville, and it's heading to the north and to the east. So again, our areas of concern include Stockbridge, and as you head up north, we're talking about Augusta into Oneida County, Vernon, Kirkland, Paris, any of those areas you want to take cover at this point in time, as there is indication of rotation. Again, we do not have a confirmation of a tornado or a radar confirmation of a tornado. We're just looking at the wind speeds aloft, and we are noticing that there is that rotation with that wind speed across central New York. So we are keeping a close eye on the potential for this thunderstorm to produce a tornado. It is not definite, but you want to take this seriously. So if you are under that tornado warning, again, this includes Stockbridge, Vernon, Kirkland, Westmoreland, Paris, as you head along 12B to the south, heading towards areas like Deansboro, also under that Marshall, Augusta, just outside of Oneida, but if I lived in Oneida, I would also take cover. Again, it's just on the outskirts of Utica. So that severe thunderstorm that may produce a tornado is just to the south and west of the Utica area, but we are going to keep an eye on the track of this storm as it continues to make its way into parts of Oneida County. The storm right now is still in Madison County, but it is moving to the north and to the east at about 35 miles per hour. So it will be impacting areas as we head towards Stockbridge and Augusta. We are going to continue to track this storm as we head into the next 15 minutes as that tornado warning continues until 6 p.m. So I'm going to put a track on this again for you just to give you guys aware of where this storm is heading. Again, it's impacting Stockbridge pretty much at this point in time. It is moving to the north and east, again about 35 miles per hour. So it, again, will be in Franklin Springs at 6:11 and Kirkland at 6:15, but has the potential to extend past that warning area. So areas like New Hartford, I would definitely take precautions at this point in time. Head indoors, definitely want to take cover, interior part of your room. Or if you have a basement, head to your basement. You want to stay away from windows during this tornado warning. So again, this tornado warning has been issued by the National Weather Service until 6 p.m. And we are looking at that rotation just to the east, just to the west of Stockbridge, where you see those greens and those reds. That indicates rotation with radar. Again, no confirmation with this tornado warning, but there is indication that there is rotation associated with that. So as we look at our radar, again, lots of lightning associated with this storm. So even if there is not a confirmation of a tornado, do expect damaging winds. So we're talking about winds over 60 miles per hour. We could also see very heavy rain associated with this storm. You notice the reds and oranges showing up, but you'll also notice the lightning strikes. Frequent lightning has been associated with this storm. I know a viewer sent us a lightning strike from an earlier storm in Tabor. There is cloud to ground lightning, so that is also a part of this storm, so definitely want to take precautions and head indoors. Now this storm is knocking on the doorstep and making its way towards parts of Oneida County. So if you head towards Augusta, Deansboro is in that warning area, Kirkland, Vernon, Bennett's Corners, so along Route 12B, if you are heading across Oneida County, Chuckery Corners down towards Paris. This is the area of concern. This also includes Route 5 from Kirkland all the way back towards Oneida. So if you are traveling or plan to travel along Route 5 from Kirkland to Oneida, I highly recommend staying home at this point in time, because on top of the potential for damaging wind, we're talking about very heavy rain, and with that heavy rain, you could have reduced visibility on the roadways, as well as hydroplaning and ponding on the roads. So again, in this tornado area, you definitely want to seek shelter. This includes areas of Paris as well as Kirkland, Vernon, Augusta, Stockbridge. You're seeing that storm right now. I'm going to zoom out just to show you that it is still to the south and west of the Utica area. So Utica, you can see, is just outside of that warning area. Now, because Utica is not in that warning, that doesn't mean you don't do anything. You want to take precaution, even though that storm is still to the west. Give yourself some time to take the safety precautions. You want to head indoors. You want to make sure you stay away from windows. You want to get into an interior part of your house that usually is a bathroom where there is less windows, or if you have the opportunity to do so, you want to head to your basement. So we do have that tornado warning that has been issued until 6 p.m. This includes Madison County, so the area in the red square. I'm actually going to take off the radar so you can see where that warning is, as well as the lightning. So there you go. There's that area of concern in red. We are going to see more in the way of some red as we head throughout the next half hour or so. Now I'm going to toss it to Bill for a second.
Yeah, Jill, this is Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis here. I'm kind of just behind the scenes, just looking at some of the data. Just wanted to bring something to our attention here. Go to the north, that storm in northeastern Oneida County. It's not under a tornado warning, but there's been a lot of rotation with that and a lot of lightning strikes. It's right near Forestport.
Yep, I'll circle it.
So I know that it's not under a warning, but it's been really suspicious here, and I've been watching it over the last couple of scans since you've been uncovering this tornado warning, but I think it's worth just kind of jumping in here to point that out. Also, too, I've been watching the debris tracker for that tornado warning, too. I haven't seen anything suspicious. Haven't been able to pick out any debris. Doesn't mean it's not necessarily on the ground or not, but we don't have a debris signature yet.
Yeah, so this storm that Bill is just talking about, even though it is a severe thunderstorm warning, severe thunderstorms also mean that there is a possibility of a tornado to happen. So what I circled right here, what you're seeing on your screen, you are seeing those greens and reds, and this is what I've been talking about. This is radar indicated rotation. So the radar picks up on those winds, and the winds are going inbound and outbound in a circular pattern. So as a meteorologist, when we see something like this, especially how close those reds and greens are next to each other, indicates some rotation. So as Bill said, you will notice those reds and greens showing up. And what I also want to show, as Bill was talking about, we were just discussing this off camera, but if I take away the radar, and you will notice that this box, even though it is outlined in orange, it is highlighted in red. What that means is that is a severe thunderstorm warning that has the potential to produce a tornado. So the National Weather Service issues these severe thunderstorm warnings, but puts a special indicator to say that there is potential for tornadic activity. So if you live in this location, they just moved this warning just a little bit, but if you live in Forestport, or if you're along Route 28, so Woodgate, Boonville, you're not out of the woods just yet, and even up Route 28 as you head closer to Otter Lake, White Lake, up across the Adirondacks, I still would take cover at this point in time, even though you're not under that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, the severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern parts of Oneida County does include Boonville as well as Forestport, and we are looking at that velocity again, where those reds and greens are close together, and that is pretty much right over Forestport at this point in time. So if you do live in Forestport, please take cover at this point in time, right along Route 28. Again, head to a basement or an interior part of your house, as we are seeing that indication of some rotation. So even though the National Weather Service has not issued a tornado warning, we are seeing that rotation indicated by the Doppler radar. We're also looking at rotation down to our south. So you will notice the difference. So you see just to the west of Stockbridge, you see some greens and reds. We're actually up towards the North Country. That actually looks more significant, I think, and Bill thinks as well, compared to down across the southern part and western part of Oneida County. But the National Weather Service did issue that tornado warning for parts of southwestern parts of Oneida County until 6 p.m. So we got about 7 more minutes with that tornado warning. We will see if the National Weather Service extends this warning into more of Oneida County. But at this point in time, it does include areas like Stockbridge, Vernon, Kirkland, Paris, as you head up towards Westmoreland. So again, along the thruway from Westmoreland until you get to about Verona, as well as along Route 5 between Kirkland and Oneida. Even if there is no tornadic activity, it is still a severe thunderstorm that could have damaging winds over 60 miles per hour. And on top of that, if you stepped outside, you notice it is very humid out. So that indicates a lot of moisture in the air. And with that moisture means heavy, heavy rain. So we are tracking pockets of heavy rain as you head just south of Route 5 towards Kirkland, south as you head down towards Augusta, seeing that heavy rain, Deansboro, now making its way through Stockbridge as it pushes to the north and to the east. We're also going to look at the radar up north and look at this storm. On top of that, look at all the lightning associated with this severe thunderstorm in northeastern parts of Oneida County. And now that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended by the National Weather Service in Albany. And this includes areas just to the east of Forestport, so Atwell, North Wilmer. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So this area is also under that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, this also includes Woodgate. Woodgate, you're seeing some very heavy rain at this point in time, as well as up Route 28, Otter Lake, also seeing that heavy rain. And as Bill indicated earlier, we have been watching some rotation with this storm. I'm going to take the lightning off for you. There has been some rotation with this storm just north of Forestport, pretty much right along Route 28 at this point in time where those reds and greens are close together. And that indicates that rotation or that circular formation up in the atmosphere. So it has not been indicated by any verbal confirmation, anything that anybody has seen, but radar has indicated the potential for some rotation with this storm. But our other biggest concern, again, is that tornado warning that has been issued until 6 p.m. for parts of Oneida County and into Madison County. This, again, includes Stockbridge. As you head just to the west, I think the end of that is now making its way through Smithfield as well as Peterborough, but Stockbridge, Augusta, and then heading into parts of Oneida County. This includes Route 26 as you're heading south towards Augusta, Vernon along Route 5. We're also seeing Franklin Springs, Kirkland, also seeing that heavy rain as well as damaging wind and frequent lightning. Again, a lot of lightning associated with these thunderstorms. And even if there's not a confirmed tornado, we could see still wind damage from this severe thunderstorm as winds have been over 60 miles per hour associated with this thunderstorm. So we do have that tornado warning that has been issued until 6 p.m. So we got about 3.5 minutes left of this tornado warning. We will see what the National Weather Service decides to do. And they just actually extended from this tornado warning. There's now a severe thunderstorm warning. Now this severe thunderstorm warning does include the Utica area up towards Marcy, Rome, and Floyd. So those locations are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. So while the tornado warning is just to the south and to the west of the area, there is now a severe thunderstorm warning that has been extended to the Rome area as well as Marcy, Floyd, Whitesboro, all the way back up to where they just had that severe thunderstorm up towards Trenton and Remsen. And again, we are keeping a close eye on this severe thunderstorm up towards Woodgate and Forestport along Route 28. This one has shown signs of rotation over the last probably 15 minutes or so. And we're still seeing that rotation just north of Forestport along Route 28. So again, there could be some damaging wind with this severe thunderstorm. And that severe thunderstorm warning, again, for parts of northeastern Oneida County goes until 6:15. But we do have that severe thunderstorm warning and that tornado warning for parts of Madison and Oneida County. Again, this does include Kirkland as well as Vernon, heading down towards Augusta. Stockbridge still under that tornado warning until 6 p.m. So we got about 2 more minutes. We're going to keep an eye and see what the National Weather Service decides to do with this tornado warning. I do believe they probably will expire it at 6 p.m. since they extended the severe thunderstorm warning into more of central New York. Again, we're going to put that radar on for you just to show you what is happening. So Marcy right now is dry. Utica, we're starting to see some rain, but again, you probably hear that thunder in the distance, and that heavy rain is knocking on your doorstep. So again, that severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Oneida County, again, that does include the Utica area, as well as New Hartford, Marcy, Whitesboro. will continue across the region. And this just in from the National Weather Service. They issued a tornado warning until 6:15 for the area that Bill has been watching this whole time. So again, up towards Forestport. So this is where we've been indicating that rotation, that signature rotation for perhaps tornadic activity. Again, on our velocity scan, you will notice our biggest area of concern is just north of Forestport. So right here is where that indication of some rotation. So this is radar indicated, so there are no confirmations just yet with this tornado warning, but Bill has been tracking this probably for the last half hour or so and noticing that rotation. So it is a small part of Oneida County, but there has been, again, that rotation indicated in this area. So I'm going to put a track on this for you. Again, it's just making its way out of Forestport, heading north on Route 28. So if you live in the Woodgate area along Hawkinsville Road or along Route 28, you definitely want to take cover at this point in time. As Forestport up towards Route 28 also includes Otter Lake. So if you do have a house at Otter Lake or a camp at Otter Lake and you are there, you want to take cover. Again, either by going to an interior part of your room, of your house where there aren't any windows, or in your basement. What I want to zoom out just to make sure, down across, yes, so they did expire the tornado warning in Oneida County. So that tornado warning that we did have in Oneida County has been expired, and what the National Weather Service has noticed is that there isn't much rotation with this storm, so they switched it over to a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, does that mean it's less potent? No. We are still tracking strong winds with this thunderstorm, as well as heavy rain and frequent lightning. I know I took the lightning off, but there's a lot of lightning associated with this thunderstorm as it continues to move to the north and to the east. So I'm going to put a track on this storm for you. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45. Again, the tornado warning has expired, and the National Weather Service, just based on the data, has now put it to a severe thunderstorm warning. Still dangerous as it continues to move into the region. So this is going to impact areas like Rome, as well as New Hartford.
They extended it.
Thank you. Bill just got, sorry guys, we have a lot of information. They extended that tornado warning now into Herkimer County. This does include Atwell as well as North Wilmer. I don't know if there's any other towns that will show up on our radar. Again, this is just to the east of Forestport in Herkimer County. So this again includes Atwell as well as North Wilmer. This is until 6:30. Now the one in, we just got this in, you notice that pink around the the tornado warning. Let me take this off. Bill, if you confirm this with me, that does indicate a confirmed tornado. So if you notice the pink showing up on our warning system, so this area right here, this pink that includes Forestport and Woodgate, what that means is that this tornado has now been confirmed. So what that means is that the radar has indicated a debris ball, so to speak. So there's something in the air besides rain, and that is indicated by that wind. So we do have radar confirmed tornado for this tornado warning in northeastern Oneida County. Again, this tornado is now making its way towards Woodgate. It is also making its way towards Otter Lake, right along Route 28. So Route 28, so Bill, let me show this. Bill,
yeah, I'm gonna jump in here for you just to give you a breather. So just to clarify here, that's what we're looking at. We have an ability with the radar to pick up debris. It's called correlation coefficient. And the bottom line is, when you see something like that, when we have this strong rotation in this spot, we can confirm that there's one on the ground. It looks like it probably hit or moved close to Route 28. In fact, let's just kind of go backwards. I know we don't want to go backwards here, but just to kind of get our bearings here. So we have a couple of very suspicious images here, and the Weather Service is confirming this too. So it's not just us, that something happened, that there was a likely touchdown just north and east of Forestport. And we are very confident that that happened. So we don't know where the damage is. We're going to take some time to figure that out. We're going to have our news crews go into this. But we can tell that something was picking up debris with that strong rotation in that thunderstorm. So again, if you're in this area, you've got to take shelter. You've got to take shelter now. This could potentially be life-threatening. We are looking at the specific area now. It's moving into Herkimer County, so the rotation is really strong just to the east of Forestport, just about ready to make that jump across the county line. So again, if you live in this general area, take shelter. If you're underneath this tornado warning, we've been telling people to take these warnings seriously, but again, now we have something that we don't like to see here, at least some confirmation of a tornado that was on the ground at some point. We don't know if it's on the ground at the moment, but again, this is heading to the east. It's moving into Herkimer County. This tornado warning extended in Herkimer County until 6:30. This tornado warning continues for northeastern Oneida County until 6:15. Again, very strong rotation here that we are watching. And if you're in the path of this storm, again, get in shelter. Get into the basement, get into the lowest floor of your home if you don't have a basement. You're going to want to avoid windows. And again, a closet, a bathroom would be places to go. Again, if you're in this area, if you're not in the tornado warning, you're not in danger. But if you're in this area, these are the places that you need to take shelter.
I just looked on Google Maps because it's not really showing up on ours, but if you live along Meekerville Road as it crosses over into Herkimer County, O'Brien Road, North Lake Road, along Route 73, those are the areas you want to take cover right over the border between Forestport and as you head towards areas like North Wellmert as well as Atwell. So those are areas of concern at this point in time. Again, it is exiting the Forestport area and is now moving into parts of Herkimer County, again, just to the east of Forestport. So again, O'Brien Road, Lake Road, Meekerville Road, Bellinger Town Road, any of those roads, and you live on it, you want to take shelter at this point in time. Again, this is a confirmed tornado. We talked about earlier how radar indicates this stuff, but there is what we call debris in the air from this tornado. This is what Bill was showing you earlier. And with that, see that circle?
Yeah, it's right here. This is showing up really clearly. We don't like seeing stuff like that.
That means that there is debris in the air. So that means that something is putting that debris in the air, and that, of course, is a tornado. Now, it is crossing over right now into Herkimer County. Again, if you live in North Wellmert as well as Atwell, you want to take shelter at this point in time. Again, we do have a tornado warning that has been issued by the National Weather Service that is now confirmed, that is now in Herkimer County. This is until 6:30 p.m. The reason why I'm repeating this is sometimes the National Weather Service talks over us and you can't hear us because they have their own alert system. So we want to reiterate what is actually happening. So you will notice that it is confirmed and will continue to make its way into the region as we head into the next half hour. So we are going to be on air, Bill and I, until 6:30, until this tornado warning expires.
Yeah, and I just, to go back to the debris signature here, because this is going to be really helpful for us to get an idea of the danger going forward. So we confirmed that a tornado touched down very close to Forestport, and this was around 6 o'clock. Now it's 6:07. Doesn't necessarily, these things happen quickly. Most tornadoes are on the ground for a few minutes. Some of the longer ones, maybe 10, 15 minutes longer. So when we saw this signature, this is debris being lofted in the air. Going forward in time to the present moment, it does look like the debris signature is weakening, which means that whatever was on the ground is there's a lower chance of it being on the ground. That's a good sign. Still, what we've also learned is that tornadoes sometimes will hit the ground, they'll hit the ground again. As long as there was rotation, which this has been strongly rotating for quite a while, and as long as there's rotation with it, it could have the potential of producing a tornado. So it was confirmed earlier, a few moments ago, when it was in Oneida County. It's moving into Herkimer County, so the danger is now moving into Herkimer County. And just to give you some bearings here, because I know we have a lot of folks that watch us in Herkimer County, this is well north of the Mohawk Valley. If you're in the Mohawk Valley, you're not even close to this. If you were in Old Forge, you're also not part of this. I know a lot of folks, Water Safari gets out at 6:30. You're not in any danger of this at the moment if you live in these areas, but if you live in the central part of Herkimer County, these are the spots to watch. It's even north of Route 8, so I know this is a fairly remote area, but I know people do have camps up this way. Again, this tornado warning in effect until 6:30, and also I just want to make sure that we are covering our bases here and we're not missing anything else. Okay, so we do have to watch this one too.
Yeah, but then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's impacting the Utica area. Also at this point in time, this does also include Rome, New Hartford, Whitesboro, Marcy. Even though this is not a tornado warning, it still has indication of some strong winds, as well as frequent lightning, and also a lot of rain, very heavy rain. The air is just full of moisture at this point in time. So we are keeping an eye on this area. So even though you're not under a tornado warning, still dangerous. You still want to head indoors and away from windows with these frequent lightning strikes. We're seeing a little bit of rotation, but nothing compared to what we saw up north.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, on a day like today, there's so much wind shear in the atmosphere, and it's one of those things where you never let your guard down here. So this has been, now this is weekly rotating. This is not tornado warned. It's still, you've got to watch this. If you're in the path of this storm, we're going to watch this one closely, too, because a lot of the times these storms will weaken and then they'll spin up again. So things can change very, very quickly. So that's why we're going to continue to be on guard here. But again, the primary concern, the most dangerous storm in our area is the one in moving into central northern Herkimer County. There was a confirmed tornado with this. We confirmed it with debris, the debris signature that we saw on the radar. So we know that there was damage that took place. We'll figure that out, where that took place later, when we can get some crews up there. But the danger right now is this part of Herkimer County until 6:30. A tornado warning means if you live in this area, you've got to get into shelter. It's a life-threatening situation because this did produce a tornado. And you've got to get into the basement. You've got to get into the lowest floor of your home, away from windows if you don't have a basement. And again, this is until 6:30 here in central Herkimer County.
And just for those who are tuning in, again, we have several warnings that have been issued, but you will notice, as Bill pointed out, this area in pink. So this was just about 10 minutes ago. There is a forest fort up right over Route 28. There was a confirmed tornado. We did see what we call a debris ball that's in the atmosphere. So there's debris from a tornado in the atmosphere, and that was radar indicated. So the National Weather Service did confirm a tornado and now has crossed into Herkimer County. So again, this does impact areas north of Ohio. So we are talking about north of Route 8, but south of Old Forge. So again, north of Route 8, but south of Old Forge. So pretty much in central parts of Herkimer County, right to the east of Forestport. So this is North Wilmart as well as Atwell. And we did pull up some roads. So some roads that may be considered include Meekerville Road, as well as North Lake Road, O'Brien Road, Billinger Town Road. These are just some indications. I know, as Bill said, people may have camps up in this little area. I'm going to take the lightning off so we can just see that rotation. So we are seeing that rotation again across the region, just making its way just north of North Welmar. So between Atwell and Welmar is where that rotation is happening at this point in time. Again, we don't want to forget about the other severe thunderstorm warning that we do have that is impacting, again, the Utica area, just outside the Utica area, as well as parts of Franklin Springs, Westmoreland, seeing some very heavy rain right now, as well as up towards New Hartford, Whitestown, New York Mills, even impacting the Rome area. So this severe thunderstorm warning is until 6:45, and then we just got another severe thunderstorm warning. This is for south of the Utica area. This is for that storm that's now in the Hamilton region. This will be impacting areas like Sangerfield and Paris, as well as parts of Paris Station and Bridgewater. So we are keeping an eye on that as well. Bill just pointed this out to me, so I'm going to put this on for you guys. We have now noticed a bit of rotation with this storm in central parts of Oneida County. Right here, I'm circling this right here. So right along 12B, right near Kirkland Ave, there is indication of some rotation at this point in time. So even though you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning, you want to take proper precautions. So you want to head into an interior part of your house, the lowest level. If you have a basement, you want to head to that basement area. As we are keeping an eye on that rotation just south of Kirkland, I want to put a loop on this actually and see where this is heading towards. So we're going to loop this one more time. It's heading right along Route 12B, heading towards Route 5. So as you head towards Kirkland, and as you head up towards Route 5 between Kirkland and New Hartford, Clark Mills. Again, nothing is indicated at this point in time, but there is some rotation showing up on the radar along with a severe thunderstorm warning. This severe thunderstorm warning is until 6:45. And then we also have that tornado warning that is continuing. Again, this is north of Ohio into parts of north central Herkimer County, south of Old Forge. Again, we're still seeing some rotation just north of North Wilmer, as well as heading towards Atwell. So this is just to the east of Woodgate, as well as Forestport. We are seeing that rotation. When we talk about rotation, we're talking about the reds and the greens mixing together. So you see that there's that boundary between the red and the green. That means that there's outbound and inbound flow or wind flow or that rotating air that's being indicated by radar. So we are keeping a close eye on this tornado warning that has produced a tornado in Oneida County. Again, just making its way through Forestport and Route 28. It's now moving into Herkimer County. So again, we're keeping a close eye on the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, we are seeing some rotation as you head towards Franklin Springs and Kirkland. Again, damaging wind, heavy rain, frequent lightning associated with this severe thunderstorm warning. And this severe thunderstorm warning is until 6:45. This includes Whitestown as well as Rome, Verona, heading towards Whitesboro, New Hartford, and then making its way towards Rome, Floyd, Howell Patton, Marcy. This is all under that same severe thunderstorm warning. And then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning now showing some rotation as well. Look at this, Bill. Near Georgetown, we are seeing some rotation on this severe thunderstorm as well. Now, this is heading pretty much just to the east of Route 26 in Madison County, making its way towards Hamilton and Earlville. Again, this is another severe thunderstorm warning. This one continues until 7 p.m.
So I'm gonna jump in here, Jill.
Yep.
While you've been keeping everybody up to date here, I've just been watching the radar images over that storm in Clinton and West Berlin, and just seeing something suspicious here again. There's no tornado warning, so I don't want to go that far, but I've been just watching how it's been starting to curl up here, and it was rotating earlier. It's showing some signs of intensifying, and I know we got a lot of people that live in this area: Clinton, Kirkland, West Berlin. There's no tornado warning here, but the storm is rotating. The rotation has been strengthening, and like we saw up in northeastern Oneida County, things can change quickly. Just because there's no tornado warning here, I'm going to ask people to, if you live in this area, we're going to be extra cautious on a day like today. We don't normally do this. We're not trying to be alarming. We're not trying to be over the top, but we understand the magnitude of the situation today, that this is not a normal day in central New York. If you live in these areas, better safe than sorry. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to ask you to get into shelter until this thing blows through. Again, there's no official tornado warning here, but we've just seen too many suspicious signs in this general area, and I just don't like the way that this looks. So we'll continue to watch that. Like Jill mentioned, that storm in Madison County is also showing signs of rotation as well. The tornado warning has been dropped for Hamilton County, so that is some good news there. But again, the danger is not over now, and we're hoping that the signatures disappear. The thing that I'd be the happiest thing that I could see is if just the rotation stops and we're done.
They canceled the tornado warning for Herkimer County as well.
Yes.
I just got that.
Okay.
Okay. So that's one that shows signs that it's weakening, but now we're also seeing signs that storms are now strengthening. So it's an ebb and flow type of situation, but we are seeing, again, those reds and greens close to each other in Madison County, indicating some rotation. So even though there is no tornado warning at this point in time, there could be some rotation with this storm. And as Bill said, we are keeping a close eye on the severe thunderstorm in parts of Oneida County. We're heading towards Franklin Spring, Kirkland. We're also seeing some rotation again along Route 5 near Kirkland. So again, if you live near Route 5 in Kirkland, just want to take cover, even though there is not a tornado warning at this point in time. Let's pretend and stay inside. So you want to stay in the interior part of your house where there are no windows or in your basement, as this severe thunderstorm warning continues until 6:45. We'll see what the National Weather Service decides to do with that.
Can I just jump right in here? I just want to make sure to do all of our due diligence here that we're not missing anything at all. So we're looking at the debris tracker here. That's hard to say. That's hard. So what we're looking at here is this bump. So we showed you that debris tracker earlier. I think there's a little bit of noise with that one. Let me look at different radar sites here. Okay, so that's good. So we're not getting anything with that one. I just want to make sure. No, yeah, we got to watch that one too. So we're not missing anything with this yet, but we have some suspicions here that this storm is rotating, and things, like I said, things can change very quickly here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that continues for Oneida County. The spot that we're watching really closely here, and again, there's no tornado warning, but there's signs of rotation with this storm. This is just to the west of New Hartford, and we'll change this over to the radar and show you that there's a lot of lightning. Oh, yeah. But this is the spot where we just got to keep an eye on things, and we're hoping that the next radar signature comes in and it looks better. But this is the spot where this storm has been weakly rotating. Again, no tornado warning at the moment, but we're getting some suspicious radar signatures here that kind of indicate that the storm is kind of wrapping up and that there's broad scale rotation. So there is some rotation with this, and at the very least, it is producing some very strong wind. And this is a storm you're going to want to be inside anyway, regardless of a tornado warning or just straight line winds. It doesn't matter if the winds are swirling or going straight. If they're strong, they're strong.
And plus, look at all that lightning.
There's plenty of lightning.
Yeah, you don't want to be outside in this type of area. There's tons of lightning, frequent lightning. We've had reports of cloud to ground lightning. So again, lots of lightning strikes with this. Along with that, you can also see some wind damage along the lines of this severe thunderstorm.
So one other thing too, this is getting pretty close to the station. Is there a way we can see our tower cam if we can try and turn this? Because we might be able to see this if there's anything going on here, or we might be ending up wrapped in rain. Okay, so if you're just joining us here, meteorologist Joe Reel and I, Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis, are going over our newscasts, making a lot of people mad, but we have a pretty serious situation here. We've had a confirmed tornado that took place about 20 minutes ago in northeast Oneida County. We have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings in place. We have a tornado watch that was issued earlier this afternoon, a lot of rotating storms, and our biggest concern at the moment is we're watching a rotating storm that is moving into a very populated part of the WKTV viewing area. This is just to the east of, or just to the west of Utica. There's been broad scale rotation with it. It's not under a tornado warning. I want to make sure that that's very clear. It's not under a tornado warning at the moment, but it is showing some signs of broad scale rotation, and it's had a history of producing rain. We've had tornado warnings with this, several of them from this same storm to the west. And so these are the types of storms that we're going to be keeping a very, very close eye on.
Pop-up tower cam.
Yeah, it's here. You know what? Let me help you out. There's a.
So we can hear the thunder up here on Smith Hill. We can also hear the rain. But what Bill is trying to do right now is we have control of our tower cam, so we can move it. And so with that, we're going to try and move this so we are looking to the south, because that is where that severe thunderstorm is right now, down towards Clark Mills as you head towards Kirkland area. So Bill's going to try and see if we can move this. It's going to be hard because you can tell there's a lot of rain associated with this. So we are going to keep an eye on, do you want the Nexus camera?
Yeah, let's say the Nexus camera.
Okay. Ooh, there it is.
All right, so we are, where's our position? Can you, actually, you know what? We'll leave this up. Let's just look at the, radar. So we can't see what's happening on the ground. It looks like.
But there is some rotation, right?
Yeah, so you're getting, well, you're seeing the wind shear. So you're seeing the lower level winds. And yeah, there's broad scale rotation here for sure.
Frequent lightning, you'll also notice there's a lot of lightning associated with this.
Hold on, let me try and, I'm gonna try and bring up our tower cam. We'll have two eyes on this.
I'm gonna put the radar on while Bill is doing this. Just to, again, reiterate what is happening right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning Again, this does include the Utica area as well as Marcy, Kirkland, New Hartford, Westmoreland, up towards Whitesboro, heading towards Holland-Patton, Floyd. Again, this is until 6:45. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning south of that, now impacting Hamilton as well as up towards Madison, going to make its way towards Sangerfield, Waterville, up towards Marshall and Paris. So these are back-to-back thunderstorms that are now beginning to move into the area. Bill, do you want me to put the tower cam up?
Put up the tower cam for just a second. We've got a pretty good view of this. So if there is anything that's happening, we would be able to see this. And I am happy to say that I'm not seeing anything alarming here. It's wrapped in rain to the west. Let's continue to go across. We're going to have a harder time seeing this as we're looking into the rain-wrapped part of the storm. But we have a good view of this. And so far, this looks pretty good. So we are in the clear for now. We're not seeing anything.
You can see how fast the clouds are moving too.
Yeah, there's a lot of wind shear in the environment today, and this is why we've been nervous. This is why we've been, so concerned about the situation. That this is different. This is the remnants of a tropical storm is providing a lot of extra wind shear in place, and it's causing these storms to spin. That usually is the ingredient that we're missing out on with a lot of these severe weather setups. We tend to get a lot of instability in the atmosphere, a lot of energy, just a lot of ability for the air to rise. But what we typically are missing is the wind shear, but we're getting it today, and that's why the storms are behaving differently.
Notice, too, on our tower cam, we're not right in the storm, but you can see those trees are moving pretty good at this point in time, and we aren't even in the storm just yet.
Yeah.
Let me put the radar back up just to see what's going on. That's a nice shelf cloud right there.
Yeah, we're looking at the
let me put the Nexus camera back up.
Nexus camera, and we're going to watch this thing come right in here.
So again, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time, but there has been indications of some kind of rotation. But that also means that there is damaging wind associated with this thunderstorm, as well as very heavy rain and frequent lightning. So again, if you can, go into an interior part of your house. This includes a bathroom or into your basement. You want to be away from the windows, even if it's not a tornado warning, just because of the lightning and the damaging wind that is possible. So we are watching this storm as it makes its way through Utica, through New Hartford, Whitesboro, Marcy, Holland-Patton. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning is until 6:45. So we are keeping a close eye on the potential of this storm as it continues to move into the Mohawk Valley. Again, we are watching this storm as Bill just put on our tower cam. You can see it moving into the Mohawk Valley right there.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good view of this. Again, our primary concern, the reason why we're continuing our coverage here is because we have several severe thunderstorm warnings that have this tag tornado possible. So even though it's not the information, the data that we're collecting is not strong enough for the National Weather Service to issue a tornado warning like we saw in Forestport, things can change very quickly, and it's one of those days we're being extra cautious. So we're going to stay on the air for a couple more minutes here until we can see that this danger is passing. So we'll see the rotation weaken, or that this ends up clearing and moving to the east and outside of the more populated parts of our area. And we're kind of in waiting mode right now just to see if the Weather Service is going to issue an additional severe thunderstorm warning to the east. Because right now we have two different Weather Service offices that serve our area. Well, actually, we have three. Albany is in charge of Herkimer County. Binghamton is in charge of Oneida County. And we're going to see what Albany does here and how they approach this storm as it jumps the county line. If they issue a severe thunderstorm warning, we will start to wind down our coverage here as the threat starts to diminish, but they may end up changing their mind and they may end up ramping this up. We don't know. We're going to see how they
I also know this is interesting that Utica is not in either warning. it's in between both the warnings. But if you live in Utica, take cover at this point in time. But what Bill's talking about with that rotation is when we see these greens and reds next to each other, that indicates inbound and outbound wind. So that rotating wind, this is just radar indicated at this point in time, but there is some rotation up in the atmosphere. But as we've been looking on our tower cam, the Nexus camera, we are not seeing any funnel clouds or tornadoes, but you want to treat this as if it was a strong thunderstorm, as we are seeing damaging wind as well as frequent lightning. You can hear thunder right here up on Smith Hill, as well as very heavy rain. You know, there's a lot of moisture associated with these thunderstorms. It's very humid outside, so we're going to keep a close eye on this severe thunderstorm warning. Again, it is impacting New York Mills. We just had a lightning strike close to here, up towards Maynard as you're heading towards Marcy. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning is making its way through parts of Oneida County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be impacting Madison as well as Sangerfield, Bridgewater, Town of Paris, Marshall, all the way up to Paris Hill Road, Chuckery Corners. So that is another severe thunderstorm warning that we are watching. As we head up north, again, where there was that tornado warning is now just a severe thunderstorm warning. This is north of Ohio, but south of Old Forge in Herkimer County. Again, I want to show you, Bill's and looking at our tower cam, I want to show you this severe thunderstorm that's literally making its way through the Mohawk Valley. This is from our tower cam up here on Smith Hill. We are hearing frequent thunder, so that means a lot of lightning associated with this thunder kind of rotation, but we haven't seen any evidence of that on the ground level at this point in time.
Yeah, and see that we have a huge advantage here. We've got this great view of this thunderstorm. If there was a tornado on the ground, we would be seeing this. So we can say with a pretty high degree of confidence that this is not producing a tornado. There's a lot of rotation with it, but this is not producing a tornado. Again, this is not a tornado-warned storm, but we had some suspicions, and we're staying on television because there's an awful lot of rotation with this one, and it's something in the rotation with this is moving right over Whitesboro, and it's moving to the north and east. This will likely go just north of the city of Utica, but if anything changes here, the reason why we're kind of hanging on here and holding on for a little bit longer is because we know in these situations things change quickly. We have a lot of wind shear in the environment, and a lot of these storms look like they're kind of teetering out, and then all of a sudden they'll spin right up. And so that's why we're just being very, very cautious here. And we're going to hold on to this for a few more moments. We're going to continue to watch the situation very closely while these storms are in a very populated part of our area. And as Jill just pointed out here, the downtown camera, that looks like Scud.
That's a Scud cloud, yeah. So I don't want people to be alarmed. This is what we call a Scud cloud. It is not showing rotation at all. It's just a cloud that just hangs out at the bottom of like a thunderstorm, but sometimes people get this confused as a funnel cloud. It is not a funnel cloud. This is what we call a Scud cloud that could be associated with thunderstorms. So again, just want to reiterate the warnings that have now been issued by the National Weather Service. Again, as Bill said, we're going to see what Herkimer is going to decide to do as this severe thunderstorm is going to cross into the Herkimer County area. So that is the National Weather Service in Albany. Oneida County is the National Weather Service out of Binghamton. But right now we are keeping an eye on that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45. This now includes Whitestown up towards Marcy. Again, just outside of the Utica area. It is heading up towards Trenton, so Route 8 and Route 12 is going to be dealing with heavy rain, frequent lightning, as well as damaging winds. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in Madison County that's now crossing into Oneida County. We are going to continue to track that storm as we head into the next till 7 o'clock. That's going to cross over Route 20 at this point in time, as well as Route 12, so Sangerfield towards Waterville, heading up towards the town of Paris. And Bill just pointed this out. It is not in our viewing area just yet, but we're not done. There's more tornadic activity to the south, closer to Binghamton, so this is going to be a busy night across the region. But as of right now, our two areas of concern is the severe thunderstorm warning in Oneida County. Again, this includes Whitesboro, Whitestown, up towards Marcy, Floyd, Trenton, right along Route 12 and Route 8, as well as along the New York State Thruway. You're seeing some very heavy rain at this point in time. And then we have the also severe thunderstorm warning that's now beginning to move into southern Oneida County. Again, this is south of Utica, so we're talking about Marshall, Sangerfield, up towards the town of Paris, and heading towards, again, south of Utica, along Route 8 and as well as Route 12 and Route 12B. So we are keeping a close eye on this storm as it makes its way through the Mohawk Valley. Again, as Bill was pointing out on our tower cam, you can see those low-lying clouds right now.
Ooh, yeah,
Ooh.
I think that was just our television tower that just got hit.
So hopefully you don't lose power.
Seems like we didn't lose anything, so that's good.
That just scared me.
This is a live look at the storm that we're tracking that's moving across eastern Oneida County. This is in Whitesboro, Deerfield, over Marcy. You can see a lot of features here that indicate a pretty strong storm. You've got a lot of wind with this. You've got broad scale rotation that we've been watching here. It does look like that some of this has weakened.
Yes, it definitely does.
But you can see, I mean, this sky looks pretty ominous. But if there was anything serious taking place, if there was a tornado taking place, we would be able to see it. So we can definitely say that the danger with that is not happening at the moment. We're going to continue to keep an eye on things here. I think we'll probably only stay on the air for a few more minutes here.
Catch our breath.
We're going to catch our breath. We may end up having to bump back on, but I think now that unless we get another tornado warning, I think we will probably drop out of coverage here in just a little bit.
Yeah, so just want to reiterate that the two warnings that we are watching right now, we have that severe thunderstorm warning for central parts of Oneida County. Rome, you're good. The storm has moved through. It's just making its way through Utica. It's heading up Route 8 as well as Route 12 towards Marcy and Trenton. Will probably impact areas like Remsen. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that has had history of heavy rain as well as frequent lightning and damaging winds. And then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning until 7 o'clock. This is impacting southern Oneida County. So we're talking about Route 12 south of Utica, Route 8 south of Utica. So this will impact as well as Route 20. So if you're in the Madison area heading towards Sangerfield, you'll be impacted by this thunderstorm, as well as Marshall, town of Paris. Again, this severe thunderstorm warning is until 7 o'clock. So we have two severe thunderstorm warnings right now for Madison and Oneida counties. We are keeping an eye on what's happening to our south towards Binghamton. We're going to keep a close eye on this thunderstorm as it tracks to the north and east. This may impact Otsego County. I know Otsego County hasn't seen much yet, but this may be impacting parts of Shenango and Otsego counties as we head through this evening. If I zoom out even further, we're not done. We have more thunderstorms back towards Syracuse, back towards Rochester. Now, while these aren't severe, they still will contain heavy rain. So do expect more in the way of some rain as we head throughout the rest of this evening into the first half of tonight. So again, we have that severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Oneida County. It's now almost crossing over into Herkimer County, so I wonder what the National Weather Service out of Albany is intending to do, but it is heading towards Coldbrook as well as Newport. It's pretty much knocking on the doorstep of Trenton, again along Route 8 and Route 28 now as you head closer to that Oneida County, Herkimer County line. Again, this is north of the valley, so we are talking about north of German Flats, north of Ilion, north of Frankfort, north of Herkimer, north of Little Falls. So that is where that storm is heading. So it's heading to the north and to the east. But we are also keeping an eye on the storm that's now moving into southern Oneida County. Again, we hear the rain now. Southern Oneida County, this includes Sangerfield as well as Paris, south of Utica on Route 8 as well as Route 12. So busy evening across central New York. Again, we're going to take a little bit of a break. If we have more severe weather, we will cut into any broadcasting to give you guys the latest information. Of course, as always, download our WKTV weather app. You will get alerts, real-time alerts of any thunderstorm activity that's in your area, as well as any watches or warnings. And again, we'll have the latest update coming up at 10 and 11 o'clock. But if we do have any more severe weather, we will cut in.
News with Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's been a very busy 10 hours in the weather department. Dangerous storms ripped through parts of the area. A high-velocity radar-confirmed tornado touched down in Forestport about 6 o'clock tonight. News Channel 2's Luke Radel was on the scene surveying all that damage and has it in our top story tonight.
Here in Forestport, you can smell the burning in the air. A tornado moved through, knocking over trees into power lines, as you can see behind me, blocking roads and preventing people from getting home.
We're there. The bar exploded with everybody's alarms to let us know there was bad weather in the area.
Leanne Bartoletti was out to dinner with her husband at a local restaurant until
We got a text from my mother-in-law that lives across the road from us that said they had 10 trees down and was wondering if we were home. So we paid our bill and was on our way home and haven't been able to get there yet.
There's trees on this side, right to probably this house where the white car was. It was the whole thing was just rotating.
the assistant fire chief describing the moment he saw the tornado touch down. Did you guys ever see anything like that before?
Not right in front of us, not the switch from. I drove through after tornado, I mean, right close by, but to have that go from no wind, zero rain, wasn't even sprinkling, to a minute and a half, it was all of a sudden instant downpour, trees breaking across the parking lot, and the whole sky rotating around the firehouse with it.
The fire department responded to several downed trees on Kincaid Road, including this one leading on a power line. You can see smoke billowing out concerning those nearby, but that wasn't even the worst of the damage. Up a couple miles on Horton Road, more large trees needed an all-hands-on-deck cleanup, with chainsaws and all. But that's just the view from ground level. These are drone photos posted on Facebook by the Forestport Fire Department, taken by Bernard Boris of the Stibville Fire Department. It shows the path the tornado took through the woods, even landing in some backyards and dragging up trees by their roots. Reporting tonight in Forestport, Luke Radel, News Channel 2.
Luke, great job. Thank you. This is video from New Hartford taken by photojournalist Keith Hunt. Took to the storm as it was rolling in at about 5:30 in New Hartford. That was 25 minutes before the storm hit up in Forestport. Now rains, heavy rains, of course, coming with this system, as you can see right there. Frequent lightning as well. No one hurt by the tornado, but we have learned 4 cows were struck and killed by lightning at a farm on Route 26 and Cooper Street in Vernon. We want to get right over to meteorologist Jill Real. You might as well be the chief today, Jill. It was an amazing day for the weather, and you were on the air straight through. Bill came in, joined you. A lot to get to tonight and recap all the mess that happened.
Yeah, and we're still tracking some rain across the region, still going on, and we have a few flash flood warnings still in effect. The biggest concern is up in Lewis County, where there is significant flooding up in Lowville. They have a flash flood warning until 10:15. We also have a flash flood warning for northern Oneida County. That is until 11:30. And then another flash flood warning down in Shenango County. That is until 11 o'clock. So those areas have been dealing with the heavy rain, but that rain is now beginning to push to the east, but we're still tracking some pockets of heavy rain in southern Oneida County, south of the Thruway, back towards Hamilton and Sherburne. This will push to the north and east as we go throughout the next hour or so. But the weather is going to improve for tonight, but it's still going to be muggy. We're only going to drop back into the low 70s tonight, but the weather is going to greatly improve as we head into tomorrow, which is some good news for those who need to do some storm cleanup. But what about Boilermaker Weekend? We kind of forgot about that today. We'll look at that forecast coming up. Jason?
Jill, thank you. You talked about Lewis County and Lowville. I want you to see this video here. This is in Lowville. Unbelievable. That's the football field behind Lowville Academy. Looks like a canal lock right there. Massive flooding throughout the village. Lowville's in a state of emergency. No unnecessary travel there. That area received about 5 inches of rain in 5.5 hours. The Walmart parking lot underwater. The Tops Plaza underwater there. Homes flooded. According to Lowville Police Department, a temporary shelter has been set up at the Double Play Sports Center on Route 12 in the town of Lowville. Unbelievable there. New tonight, an investigation is underway after Utica police stop a car with several people inside. Now this.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Jill Real.
We've been busy tracking severe weather all afternoon and evening long. We still have a tornado watch in effect for Norwich as you head towards Cooperstown and Oneonta, up towards Speculator, and then heading closer to the Albany area. But I do believe that they will be dropping this tornado watch as the threat for severe weather begins to diminish across the region. Our focus now, with all that heavy rain, we have been dealing with some flash flooding across the region. Now, Lowville was under a flash flood warning, but they just changed that from a flash flood warning to a flood warning that will be extended through tomorrow morning. So I know Lowville dealt with 5 inches of rain for today, and they are dealing with flooding issues for tonight that looks to extend into tomorrow morning. So just be aware up across Lewis County that there is a flood warning for the area near Lowville. We also have a flash flood warning for northern Oneida County. This is until 11:30. This includes Ava as well as Ansville and the town of Lee. This is due to, again, that heavy rainfall that we saw throughout the evening hours. And we also have a flash flood warning for Shenango counties. This is until 11 o'clock, so about 45 minutes from now. This does include Norwich as well as Oxford, as they also saw some heavy rain throughout the evening hours. But the rain is come to an end. We are still seeing some moderate rainfall along the I-90 corridor down towards Madison County and into Shenango County. This is all again associated with the leftovers of Beryl, which is still to our west. This low pressure system will be around as we go throughout tomorrow. While tomorrow will not be a washout, we're still going to see some extra cloud cover and some scattered showers across the region, but nothing compared to what we saw throughout today, especially this afternoon and into the evening hours. Temperatures are still quite muggy outside. We're at 77 in Westernville, 71 in Otter Lake, 79 in Little Falls. Across the Southern Valley, same story, very muggy tonight, 73 in Oneonta and 74 in Cooperstown. So scattered showers will continue for tonight into tomorrow. So tomorrow we will see a mix of sun and clouds with a stray shower or two. Again, not a washout by any means, just a sprinkle from time to time with temperatures a lot cooler compared to today. We'll top off in the low 80s across the region. High pressure builds in on Friday with more in the way of improving weather. So for tonight, again, thunderstorms coming to an end. We'll only drop back to near 70 degrees. For tomorrow, again, just a few sprinkles throughout the morning into the afternoon. Less humid and more comfortable with temperatures in the 80s. But it's not going to last. The heat returns as we head it towards the weekend. Lots of sunshine for Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures are going to warm back up into the mid to upper 80s. As we head it towards the weekend, the weather does look dry, but a bit more humid.
News with Jason Pallas.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's been a very busy 11 hours or so in the weather department. Dangerous storms ripped through parts of the area. A high-velocity radar-confirmed tornado touched down in Forestport about 6 o'clock tonight. News Channel 2's Luke Radel was on the scene surveying the damage and has it all in our top story tonight.
Here in Forestport, you can smell the burning in the air. A tornado moved through, knocking over trees into power lines, as you can see behind me, blocking roads and preventing people from getting home.
We're there. The bar exploded with everybody's alarms to let us know there was bad weather in the area.
Leanne Bartoletti was out to dinner with her husband at a local restaurant until
we got a text from my mother-in-law that lives across the road from us that said they had 10 trees down and was wondering if we were home. So we paid our bill and was on our way home and haven't been able to get there yet.
There's trees on this side, right to probably this house where the white car was. It was the whole thing was just rotating.
The assistant fire chief describing the moment he saw the tornado touch down. Did you guys ever see anything like that before?
Not right in front of us, not the switch from. I drove through after tornado, I mean, right close by, but to have that go from no wind, zero rain, wasn't even sprinkling, to a minute and a half, it was all of a sudden instant downpour, trees breaking across the parking lot, and the whole sky rotating around the firehouse.
The fire department responded to several downed trees on Kincaid Road, including this one leading on a power line. You can see smoke billowing out concerning those nearby, but that wasn't even the worst of the damage. Up a couple miles on Horton Road, more large trees needed an all-hands-on-deck cleanup, with chainsaws and all. But that's just the view from ground level. These are drone photos posted on Facebook by the Forestport Fire Department, taken by Bernard Boris of the Stiffville Fire Department. It shows the path the tornado took through the woods, even landing in some backyards and dragging up trees by their roots. Reporting tonight in Forestport, Luke Radel, News Channel 2.
Wow. Now, this video from New Hartford, taken by photojournalist Keith Hunt, taken just as the storm was rolling in at about 5:30 there. That was about 25 minutes before the storm hit in Forestport. Heavy rains, of course, coming with this system. Frequent lightning, as you can see, there it is right there. Now, no one hurt by the tornado, but we have learned 4 cows were struck and killed by lightning at a farm on Route 26 and Cooper Street in Vernon. We want to get right over now to meteorologist Jill Reel, who was on the air for quite a while tonight, keeping everyone informed. Great job, by the way. A lot of positive feedback, letting everyone know where things were, when they were happening. Dangerous situations out there tonight.
Yeah, we knew what was coming ahead throughout the day today. That's why Bill came in on his vacation. Eric stayed late. It was a whole team effort, but the weather's finally quieting down. We are still seeing a few showers. You can see the wet roads right there in downtown Utica. Now officially at Griffiths Park, we're still at 74 degrees at Griffiths Park. On top of that, it is very humid outside. That dew point is 73. We made it to 92 degrees this afternoon before we tracked those showers and storms. Speaking of rain, we are seeing that rain right now in Herkimer County. Again, impacting Little Falls as well as Herkimer down towards Cooperstown and Norwich. But the weather will be improving as we head into tonight, except for those temperatures. We'll only see lows in the 70s, so keep those air conditioners on tonight. But more comfortable weather is in the forecast for tomorrow. Look at those temperatures coming up. Jason?
Jill, thank you. And I want you to take a look at this video now from Lewis County. This is in Lowville. Unbelievable. That's the football field behind Lowville Academy. It looks like a canal lock. Massive flooding throughout the village there. Lowville is in a state of emergency. No unnecessary travel there. A flood warning in effect. That area received about 5 inches of rain in about 5.5 hours. The Walmart parking lot underwater. The Tops Plaza there underwater. Homes are flooded, and according to Lowville Police Department, a temporary shelter is set up at the Double Place Sports Center on Route 12 in the town of Lowville tonight. New tonight, an investigation happening right now is
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
We are continuing to track some weather across central New York, but the good news is the severe weather threat is over with. We are done with the severe weather across central New York. The tornado watch has been dropped, and we are not dealing with any severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings at this point in time. We are still going to be seeing some leftover showers for tonight and on and off throughout Thursday. Most of Thursday will be dry, though. Again, just a few spotty showers as we go throughout the morning into the afternoon. And then as we head towards the weekend, we're going to be tracking some high pressure, so potentially a dry Boilermaker, but it does indicate that we are going to warm back up to near 90 degrees as we head towards the weekend. Now, we are keeping a close eye on rainfall amounts up across the North Country. There was a flash flood warning for Lowville, but now they have changed it to a flood warning. Now, that flood warning is continuing until tomorrow morning, as Jason showed earlier. Lowville is underwater for tonight. And again, we're going to be tracking hopefully dry weather up across the North Country, especially Lewis County as we head into tomorrow, but they still have that flood warning for tonight. We also have a flash flood warning still in effect for Shenango County, and you will notice some thunderstorms and heavy rain continuing to move into the Norwich, Oxford area. Again, these showers will be winding down tonight, but there still is a flash flood warning, and that expires at midnight. So I am tracking that rain, some pockets of some heavy rain from Stratford down towards Little Falls into Richfield Springs, heading towards Cooperstown. This is the end of that heavy rain that continues to move through the area, but as we head into tomorrow, we still have that low pressure system to our west. Will be around where we will see a few pop-up showers throughout the morning, but will slowly dry out as we head towards the afternoon. Even though the severe weather has come to an end, it is still muggy outside. So leave those air conditioners on tonight. We're still at 77 degrees in Dolgeville as well as Westonville, 72 in Deansboro. Same story for the Southern Valley, 74 in Cooperstown, 73 in Unadilla. So for tonight, again, scattered showers throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning, but you'll notice not nearly as hot. We'll only see temperatures in the 80s with those showers winding down as we head towards tomorrow afternoon. So for tonight, it is muggy. We're going to drop back to near 70 degrees. Tomorrow, just a few sprinkles around, not a washout by any means. Most of the day will be dry with temperatures in the low 80s. It'll feel nice and comfortable tomorrow compared to today. And then taking a look at the rest of your forecast, drying out just in time for the Boilermaker. All the other days have a chance for rain, but just want runners to beware. Humidity comes back this weekend, and it looks quite warm for Sunday.
Yeah, don't lay off the water just because it cools off a little
Well,
bit.
I guess the one positive, we've been running in the heat for how many weeks, so you
Yeah.
should be acclimated.
Absolutely. All right, Jill, thank you. Coming up next,